63 degrees in downtown Denver. Good afternoon.
A longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan
Clock tonight, and I just literally tweeted out within the last 20 seconds. What is it like to have so much great stuff that you have enough for 3-4 days, maybe the entire week? And we are going to cram it into the next 4 hours and then probably discuss various aspects of what we do over the next 4 hours for the rest of this week. And of course, 1 week from today, hopefully it's a 3-day weekend for you. Hopefully there are two things. You look at Memorial Day first and foremost as why we have Memorial Day as a national holiday in this country. It is more than beers and barbecue. And then on the flip side, let's be realistic. I hope you have a 3-day weekend coming up. So there you go. There are so many incredible developments to me over the weekend. Now, these are incredible developments, not that we just cured cancer or we have confirmed that alien life does exist currently under, say, the Pacific Ocean. The United States did not over the weekend eliminate its debt. But when it comes to being a news talk junkie, let me tell you something. It is an incredible time. We're going to get into topic A, and some are a little bit more important than other topics. And at the same time, they're all bad. So let's start with some music, shall we?
Oui, oui.
Il revient à ma mémoire des souvenirs familiers.
Bonjour.
Je revois ma blouse noire.
Thank you, Matt.
lorsque j'étais écolier.
We don't want to, get into too much trouble. Friends, some of you that may not even ever tune into this program because you feel we are all white supremacists and Nazis and Klansmen and misogynists, want to give a special shout out. What I'm about to tell you has, in fact, garnered and generated today for me. It's been a while. In fact, it might be the first of 2022. I have received the first death threat of 2022. In essence, one of our, by someone who on social media claims to be a woman. Now, today, you never know. But today, someone on social media basically, watch out, or you're going to become, in essence, the next Lee Keltner. Yeah, that was to me. Why? Because I have had and will, until kingdom come, the audacity to talk about things that just aren't right. Like, for example, with, of course, all due radical candor, the French boondoggle junket just completed by two members of the Aurora City Council. One, this idiot.
So I do believe in radical candor. And I'm sorry, I think you might need to do some soul searching, because I do believe, honest to God, that the Republican Party is a sadistic death cult. It is the most dangerous organization that has ever existed.
So that would be Comrade Marcano. He just got back from France on your Aurora taxpayer dime at minimum $3,500 per person. And if you think that two members of the Aurora City Council went to France for a week for $7,000 total, well, I think I'm as skeptical as you. Trust me, I have done this before. I will do it with this, and I will no doubt do it down the road. We will be using Mr. Cora for this one. It's called the Colorado Open Records Act. So I hope that not only Comrade Marcano, who went to some planning conference in
the way.
and tweeted nearly a damn 100 times before on social media I got wind of it, called him out, and then poof, no more social media until today. Now, just before you think, well, you're just a Klansman and a misogynist and a Nazi, well, even Mayor Mike Kaufman has now called out Juan Marcano, who does not have even 1/4 of a cojone to even address us, or, you know what? You have no job. Your only job is sucking off the government teat as a city council person. I guess I won't hold it against you that you're a cat guy. And apparently, maybe some of you didn't even know. Did you know there is a Mrs. Marcano? Apparently, she went to Paris as well. Now, wait a minute. You say, well, the city didn't pay for her. Okay, well, we'll soon find out through our friend, Mr. Cora. Now, Marcano goes over there with Crystal Murillo, another Aurora worthless. I called her a comradette. So comrade and comradette just got back from a week. Do you think they were in seat C, and for this international flight would be in the middle, and if there were 48 rows on the plane, did they sit in rows, I don't know, 44 and 45 in the middle seat? We shall see, shall we? Shan't we? Let me make sure to give you, because he would not comment on anything. And of course, I don't know how many times, Matthew, we have invited the comrade to come on the program. Look, we'll treat it civil. I think you are one of the biggest POSs to ever hold any elected office in Colorado history, but I will treat you with at least the common courtesy and keeping our number one rule of keeping it civil. So he does issue a statement earlier today to CBS 4. Why? Because after we broke the story over the weekend, well, inquiring minds want to know. Here's Marcano and his response to CBS 4. Quote, I'm not really interested in how the mayor wants to make political hay out of business trips and conferences. I'm interested in the information we picked up at the conference, and I'm excited to bring that back to Aurora. Close quote. You may not be on social media, friends, but if you are wondering all of this stuff, this may be a good time to get on. Follow him I think it's at the Juan Marcano, and I think Marcano for Aurora on Facebook and Twitter. You can see all of the pictures, all of the, I'm trying to tweet nearly 100 times over the span of 48 hours to show and prove, if anybody like Stephen Tubes ever questioned it, no, I really was at this conference. This comes from a man who would more than likely watch his own child's birth via Zoom. This man, for more than 2 years, has done everything via Zoom. Town halls, council member meetings, sessions, special committees. Everything has been done via Zoom with a really whacked out, almost Star Trek-esque background. Don't believe me? Look him up. Tries to justify it by saying, whoa. I went to this same conference last year, and it was in Indiana. You are getting fleeced, citizens of Aurora. Is this the first time you're hearing about the Marcano comradette trip to France that just, I was this close to going out to DIA and doing one of those, you're just getting off the plane. And then I'm like, you know what? That'd be good. But I mean, these jokers aren't worth it because I can still talk about it without having to waste my freaking time. Would you like a trip to Aurora, or would you like a trip to France? Would you like to a trip from your, say, bedroom to your second, apparently, bedroom where you've got your camera on your desktop computer? Or would you like to go and experience international travel for a week with your wife? And I don't know anything, but it sure seems to me, for those of you connected with the city of Aurora politics, there seems to be a really strange relationship between Comrade Marcano and Comradette Murillo. And I'll just leave it there. Except for I'll say one more thing. I was surprised that, apparently Mrs. Marcano went. Now, I can't prove that because, well, I haven't used Mr. Cora just yet. You have got to be kidding me. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman was so taken back. Oh, and by the way, I want to just finish that thought. Is this the first time, perhaps, that you are hearing about said boondoggle trip to France? Well, you wouldn't be the first to say, God, I didn't know. Why? Most of city council did not know. Now, to your points that I've seen on social media, absolutely. Somebody, you would think in a normal way that things operate, somebody had to approve this. But did they really? If you've got an X amount of money to spend and you really don't have to answer, and with all due respect to Mayor Kaufman, it's not exactly like he's come down tough on.
So I do believe in radical candor.
Now, remember, that was via Zoom last year. Where the sadistic death cult, Kaufman, the last I checked, was a Republican. He's the mayor. He was on that Zoom call, did not say a word about the radical candor, sadistic death cult. Not a thing. Mr. Marcano, comrade, put out on Twitter or social media today, quote, I attended the International Making Cities Livable Conference in France this year so that the city of Aurora can, quote, learn from their successes and failures. Got it. Got it. Got it. Much to my surprise, friends, earlier today, the Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman on Twitter and on Facebook, but first on Facebook, and I quote, taking a European vacation at taxpayers' expense. Council members Juan Marcano and Crystal Murillo just returned from a trip to Paris that will be paid for by the taxpayers of Aurora. How did this happen? Apparently, they found a conference in Paris, signed up for it, and are using the taxpayers of Aurora to pay for it. For Aurora City Council members to be attending a conference in Paris, of all places, is an insult to the hardworking taxpayers of this city. This morning, I will be putting in a request to City Manager Jim Twombly for a complete breakdown of their expenses, close quote. Mayor, so will I, via Mr. Cora. To the City Manager Jim Twombly. I gave you kudos earlier this year because you did the right thing and you fired Vanessa Wilson, the now former police chief. She's just been in the news of late, hadn't she? Twombly, how about a statement? How about coming on this show as the city manager? Did you know about this trip? Did you know about the boondoggle? Did you know about it? And if you didn't, why? You're the city manager. If you did, why aren't you saying anything now? This is more than just great talk radio. If people like me that literally got a death threat today because of this, if people like me don't talk about it, who will? And I'm not trying to take all of the city of Aurora's problems on my shoulders. However, I will not stop. I will not be silent. death threats, pissing off people, getting into it. Allison Coombs, another comradette on the Aurora City Council, going back and forth with me today. I said, come on the show. Oh, I can't. I've got to work. She then sends out 5 other tweets. I'm like, well, if you've got time to tweet, you certainly would have 5 minutes to give us a call. She says it's all based on her schedule. And Coombs is coming to the rescue of the comrade and comradette. Don't these people at minimum understand optics? Their fearless leader, Barack Obama, was he is the reason why I use that term in a political sense today. So let me just tell you, as we wrap up our first segment, we're not done with this. Love to get your take. We've got Money Monday coming up, a very special Music Monday today in honor of the comrade and the comradette, those international globetrotters. The one bad thing about CORA, the Colorado Open Records Act, you do realize that the people who you accuse of perhaps something nefarious, or maybe it's totally benign, in a relative sense, Colorado's Open Records Act is a joke. So, Matt, if I Cora your ass and you've got 50 pages of things that will implicate you, what's the punishment if Matt doesn't cooperate and hand over those 50 pages? 0. That'd be 0. Fines? Well, there used to be a little baby one. Now it's 0. How does anyone know if Matt, in say, of the 50 pages, pages 32 and 33 absolutely prove that Matt was up to criminal activity? Matt could say, well, I don't know anything about pages 32 and 33. That's where it's a joke. But I will be Cora-ing, if you will, and this to our fellow media members that have maybe never done this. Yeah, I'm being a smart ass. Here's what I plan on asking. I want any and all email correspondence between comrade and comradette and anyone that they communicated with about a trip to France on the city email. I want a breakdown of what this joker, these jokers submit to you for reimbursement. I hope they kept receipts. Do you see what the potential is here? And do you see, even if at the end of the day, and I don't see it happening, but it may, I come on the air and say, you know what, after looking at the paperwork, it looks totally legitimate. But see, in these types of cases, you've watched enough 60 Minutes. You've listened to enough talk radio. You know that there's always a chance. Well, isn't it nice? Look who flew business class. Look who didn't stay at the Motel 6 equivalent in Paris. Look who stayed at the equivalent of the Four Seasons. Well, they weren't in Moscow, so there are still McDonald's around where maybe a lunch could have been had at a McDonald's, even in Paris. Well, they went to Sacre Bleu restaurant. They could have drank tap water, but maybe there were a couple of bottles of French wine. I don't know. But Marcano, we've got our eye on you. I hope you had a wonderful trip. Maybe you're not responding right now simply because you're jet lagged. And just because she hasn't been maybe as stupid as Juan Marcano in tweeting out nearly 100 times over the past few days, then suddenly stopped. Don't think little cutesy, bubbly Crystal Murillo, you're not off our radar either. This is what is wrong with government. And even if everything is quote unquote by the books, right now, would you say you'd rather walk 5 feet into your dingy room and get on another meeting on your desktop via Zoom, or would you like to go to Paris to that conference? We'll take our first time out. When we come back, believe it or not, this is not the only politician or politics story involving travel and a politician elected to the great state of Colorado, believe it or not. Like it's even as we speak. I mean, guess who's on the road right now?
Well, there's something here in Colorado that folks are jealous of. Not the mountains, hikes, or ski towns, but the law signs.
So, Matt, let's do a little mix, shall we? Let's lose Hick and to the break. This is for Comrade and anybody else who thinks it's totally cool for that idiot and that other idiot to fleece you, citizens of Aurora. Bonjour. And until we meet again on the other side of the break, I hope he at least knew that it's au revoir and not au revoir. We will not stop.
Good afternoon. Highway's looking good for us. Starting to get a little busier out here. There's no crashes, no problems. Downtown Drive a little busy. Northbound I-25, Santa Fe to Colfax. Crowded up near 84th Avenue. 270 getting busier. I-70, some delays near Colorado Boulevard and Peoria. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
It's springtime in the Rockies. Come and explore beautiful Carbon County, Wyoming. There's no better time of year to enjoy the natural mineral hot springs in Saratoga. Soak your bones in the healing waters of the Hobo Hot Pool. Free to the public and open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For information and directions, visit WyomingCarbonCounty.com or call 324-3020. Carbon County, Wyoming. Get your West on.
Get the inside scoop on weather happenings across the region with the Day Weather Podcast to get the inside story on what is really happening with weather patterns and climate across the Rockies and High Plains. It's not just a forecast, but also the nuts and bolts of what is going on with the weather and why. The Day Weather Podcast will give you insights on what drives our weather and climate without the hype and misrepresentation so common today. Find the Day Weather Podcast on iTunes, dayweather.com, and many other podcast platforms.
As prices continue to rise, don't turn to your credit cards to pay for everything. Hi, Steffan Tubbs for Town Group Mortgage. You know, paying off your debt now is really more important than ever. If you're a homeowner and you need cash, call my friends at the Town Group. If you're a business owner with large write-offs or self-employed, no W-2s, give Melissa at the Town Group just 5 minutes to hear your story. They specialize in jumbo loans for the self-employed for your current, next, or forever home. Now, the silver lining is with skyrocketing home values, you can now maybe unlock equity that you hadn't had before. It's perfect for, say, doing summer projects or maybe taking a vacation. Don't let inflation and credit card debt eat away at your lifestyle. If other lenders have said no, give Melissa, again, just a few minutes. If you've got the equity, she can likely get you into a loan. Call them today before you get priced out of the market. 833-MY-JUMBO. That's 833-MY-JUMBO or online, towngroupmortgage.com.
Hi, it's Kathy from Cabinetry by Kales. Just like a lot of kitchens need a new look, our front desk needs a new face to help us greet showroom guests. Work with our designers and operations so we can keep doing what we love, which is renovating the heart of the home with expert design and planning.
This is Art, and I want to share what one of our clients told us. His wife has wanted a kitchen remodel for years. He sheepishly admitted that they had put it off for many reasons, including not finding the trusted partner to bring into their home, tear it apart, and put it back together in the dream vision his wife had wanted. We were able to put their anxieties at ease, walk through all their design options with our multitude of cabinet, countertop, and kitchen hardware options. Our plan was a huge hit, and now we are getting ready to do the work. It's been such a joy for them to finally get this renovation going.
Visit the Cabinetry by Kales showroom in Parker, or start by visiting their gallery online at cabinetryByKales.com. That's cabinetryByKales.com. Personalized, functional, beautiful. Cabinetry by Kales.
This is the Cenegenics Health Minute with my good friend, Dr. Tim Watt.
Hi, I'm Dr. Watt from Cenegenics. The Mediterranean diet has become popular as one of the healthiest ways of eating. While I am all for eating lots of vegetables, fish, and olive oil, it turns out the real secret to why the Mediterranean diet decreases heart disease and improves your health isn't the main ingredients, it's the herbs used for seasoning. Basil, summer savory, thyme, and tarragon all contain natural chemicals that reduce inflammation and prevent damage to your blood vessels. So by all means, feel free to ditch the standard American diet. After all, it abbreviates SAD for a reason, and replace it with the Mediterranean diet. But if you want to take baby steps towards your health, just try adding fresh herbs like basil to the dishes you're already eating. It's easy, it's tasty, and it's good for you.
Call Senegenics today at 720-387-3681 or visit denver.senegenics.com.
News Talk 710, KNUS.
Listen live on Odyssey.
New concerns in Aurora about how their taxpayer dollars are being spent. That news coming up on KNUS.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710, KNUS.
Or were you too busy conferencing? If you missed one of our best opening monologues of 2022, which even includes, yes, a death threat that I received earlier today. I guess, as my military friends have told me for years, if you're taking flack, you must be over the target. And in case you did miss that, death threat came in social media from a real cutesy, apparently just addicted to me and all of the heinous things that I've done, and says, watch out, in essence, or basically what happened to Lee Keltner is going to happen to you, Tubbs. C'est la vie. Guess who else is on the road right now and not in the Estados Unidos?
Well, there's something here in Colorado.
Now, where's good old Hick right now? Well, he's with a bipartisan contingent right now traveling the world. They are in Switzerland. Yep. For all of you that you remember the glory days of Peter Boyles, and he's doing great, by the way. Peter Boyles and the uncovering of the Bilderberg Conference. Well, looky who is on the road. None of these elected officials, Republican or Democrat, none of them need to be at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Anybody? Let me hear a ding if you agree. Thank you very much. None of them need to be there. Let me try this on for size. Maybe for, I don't know, some examples. Over the weekend, this administration, many a politician were touting, were excited, were more than thankful that emergency supplies of baby formula were coming in from outside this country. As if we were some, I don't know, whole third world country. It's interesting. Good old Hick has 2 Twitter accounts. I don't know how many Facebook accounts. The @Hick, shucks, this is where I'm playing my banjo and it's not really my official one. Crickets. Nothing on Davos. His @Senator Hickenlooper, well, he's telling you about this or that, but nothing about Davos. These people, and in this case, the Republicans and the Democrats, we are in a crippling recession right now. We are in more than you can even, I don't care if you're the smartest person listening to us right now, even you, I would venture to guess, you have a hard time comprehending the amount of debt that the greatest country on earth is currently in. We have gas prices. I've never seen it in Aurora. I saw it in Parker a couple of weeks ago, driving by the gas station I drive by every single day, twice a day. How much for diesel today? $5.35. But you have the likes of these idiots, whether hyper local and the comradette from the city of Aurora, or someone like Senator Hickenlooper. And again, I am not a hypocrite. Members of both Republican and Democrat parties in Davos. You want to talk about out of touch. And meantime, last week's boondoggle, you had Doctor. Is the doctor here? Doctor Jill Biden promoting goodwill in freaking Central America? While the old man's over there in South Korea? Oh, and now today woke up in Japan. Once again, death threats or not, I will not stop. The sad thing is, on this program, it's me. It's Matt. We're two people. But thank God through this 5,000 watt directional radio signal on a peon station in Denver, Colorado, USA, we can at least speak some truth. Meantime, well, World War III was trending today once again.
You didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are.
That's the commitment we made. That's the commitment we made. We are not, look, here's the situation. We agree with a one China policy. We signed on to it and all the attendant agreements made from there. But the idea that it can be taken by force, just taken by force, is just not appropriate. It will dislocate the entire region and be another action similar to what happened in Ukraine. And so it's a burden that is even stronger.
Now, because we do like, among a lot of heavy stuff we've talked about in the first 33 minutes of the program, we do like some levity. Once again,
you didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
I wonder how many traveling with the president, those reporters actually their pants. Wait, he said what? Holy. Oh, and then if what I've given you is not enough, Hickenlooper in Davos and Lover's Lane down there at the Aurora City Council, Mrs. Marcano, maybe they're in, I don't know. I don't know what they're into. And the silent one, but she still traveled, Crystal Murillo. I think some people call her No-Show Murillo in Aurora. I've always got to work. All of that, Davos and France and Taiwan and Doctor is in Central America last week, and the president is on the road in South Korea and in Japan. Now you're telling me we've got to worry about monkeypox?
Most of the cases that are being seen in this outbreak are in gay or bisexual men, and the CDC's Jennifer McQuiston says they do expect to see more cases, so much so.
There has been a request for release of the Jynneos vaccine from the national stockpile for some of the high-risk contacts of some of the early patients. So that is actively happening right now.
She says there's no great risk to the general population, but they do want to focus on communities where it might be circulating. And anyone who has a rash or lesion that you haven't seen before should be evaluated. Sabrina Cupid for CBS News, Atlanta.
Wow. And well, on a positive note,
On
ahead
May
of
23rd, celebrate World Turtle Day with us.
Wait, what was that? What is that? Today's May 23rd.
On May 23rd, celebrate World Turtle Day with us as we begin our 28th year of caring for rescued turtles and tortoises in our sanctuary.
Okay.
Tank thanks you. Baby red-eared sliders, thank you.
Oh.
Fluffy thanks you.
Fluffy the turtle?
side necks, thank you.
And so do we.
Visit American Tortoise Rescue at tortoise.com.
Tortoise.com. Money Monday on this Monday. Stay with us.
News Talk 710. Update.
Tonight's Aurora City Council meeting could get heated. Mayor Mike Kaufman says a couple of council members went to a conference in Paris at taxpayer expense. He calls it an insult to the hardworking taxpayers in the city. The NTSB continues its probe into the weekend plane crash. That one in Broomfield killed 2 people. They have heard from a person on the ground who says the plane's engine was making some abnormal noises. Infants and toddlers may soon be able to receive COVID vaccines. An FDA panel will review data on Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for children next month, potentially setting up for an authorization this summer. The Avalanche hope to take a commanding lead in the round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. That will be tonight as they face the St. Louis Blues. This report sponsored by Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag. You know, Wendy's Biggie Bag is just $5. Get your choice of a double stack junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT, plus 4-piece nugs, small fries, and a small drink, all for $5. U.S. price and participation may vary. I'm Jeff Hildebrandt, News Talk 710.
Over in the Aurora area, under 225, report of a piece of furniture. It's on fire. There's some smoke in the area between Colfax and 6th Avenue. It's causing a delay, some heavier traffic there on 225. Rest of the highways are getting busy. There's no crashes or problems. Do watch for a wreck first in Colorado Boulevard. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies, a few rain showers and a couple of isolated thunderstorms this afternoon, and we'll see some of these lingering tonight. Highs will be 50s and low 60s. Lows tonight, low 40s to near 40. We're only going to be 50s with a good chance of rain showers and thunderstorms Tuesday through Tuesday evening, a bit warmer by Wednesday. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. Meteorologist Don Day, 710 KNUS.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When was the last time you watched your home movies? Do you have a VCR anymore? What about a film projector?
With technology constantly changing, most families don't have a way to enjoy their recorded memories, trapped on VHS, camcorder tapes, film reels, and photos.
That's why we created Legacy Box over a decade ago. Legacy Box is an affordable mailed-in kit to have your aging media digitized to DVD, thumb drive, or the cloud. Our trained technicians digitize everything by hand right here in the U.S.
Imagine being able to easily relive weddings, graduations, baby's first steps, and more. Get started future-proofing your memories today so you can gather the whole family together and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, we're offering 40% off.
Visit legacybox.com/lbox to get an exclusive 40% off. Buy today to take advantage of this incredible offer and send in when you're ready. Go to legacybox.com/lbox to save 40% off. LegacyBox.com/LBox.
Perfect air with a personal touch. Only Pastor Camp Heating and AC Inc. can give you authentic Lennox quality and service. They're the people you know and trust right here in our community. And for a limited time, they're offering up to $1,000 in rebates or make no payments for 6 months when you finance a new Lennox system for as little as $132 a month. To get quality Lennox equipment with trusted service provided by Pastor Camp Heating and AC Inc., call 303-777-1234 today or visit them online at pastorcamp.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details.
News Talk 710, KNUS.
Listen live on Odyssey.
The following segment has been paid for by Landmark Capital.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710, KNUS.
Because you know that international travel can really catch up with you. You got fleeced, Aurora. Taxpayer dime, even if it's totally a legitimate conference that Marcano and Murillo recently attended. I find it interesting. He literally, I think I lost count at like in the 90s. He had tweeted over like a 2-day span 90 plus times from this plenary session at this conference. When I called him out on it, I'm proud to say, I don't know how you say no more in French. I don't care, but I do know how to say it in Spanish. No más! It is time for our Money Monday feature. Our main man, of course, every Monday around this time, David Fisher with Landmark Capital, their website, landmarkgold.com. Their number, 877-448-2646. That's 877-448-2646. And holy cow, I am looking at the indices today. All three major ones are in the green. David, happy Monday, my brother, and thanks for the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, yeah, I got a question for you. They're up, and that is great news. So I did some research, and we go over stocks, indexes, we cover currencies, we talk about gold and silver, and other things like the Fed. So if I found a market that was the number one performing market from 2000 until current day, I would assume you would want to have some money in that as well as all your listeners.
Yes, because we are all about the big D, diversification.
Yep. Well, at the end of your program, I'll tell you what that number one market was.
Oh, that's a tease. Holy, what a tease. That's pretty good. Look, last week, stocks so ugly, just like you talked about. And as you predicted, they're up today. Can you say, well, that maybe even be a positive couple of days in a row or 3 days in a row or even a positive week ahead?
Possibly, but I'm going to cut through all the noise. So remember what the number one rule is in investing. That is, don't fight the Fed. The Fed is the single most powerful force in the markets, and I think you would agree with me, right, Steffan?
Absolutely.
So if the Fed has been printing money to force the markets go up, markets go up. If the Fed tightens monetary conditions, it forces the markets lower, and markets went lower. But let's bring this to perspective. $5 trillion from 2 years ago till now is how much the Fed printed. And the Fed announced $5 trillion from March of 2020 to 2022 of March. The Fed announced in December a new policy change. It was going to raise rates, stop printing money, QE, all that, and sell their balance sheet. Since then, stocks have been down most of it 20%, some a little bit more, some a little bit now less, indexes. But we're not close to the bottom, unfortunately. We're probably getting near it, but we're not there yet. The S&P 500 declines are far from over. The Fed is draining liquidity. A couple quotes here. First of all, big hedge funds are now betting shorting on the market. In other words, they're betting that to drive the market lower. They're actually causing some of that, in my opinion. Jeremy Grantham, hedge fund manager, said on Wednesday, the S&P is going to fall 40% from top to bottom. We've fallen 20 or 18%, so we got twice as much to go.
Crazy prediction.
And here's another guy, Scott Minerd, Guggenheim, hedge fund manager, likes gold. He says NASDAQ could plunge 75%. He said this on Thursday last week. He said the S&P is going to go 45% more than Grantham said. We've gone down 27% in the NASDAQ year to date, so we got another 48% to go if these guys are right. So I don't know if we're at the bottom. I hope they're wrong because it could get really ugly, but the Fed's just starting, so we'll keep everybody posted. It's a watch and see, and don't bite your nails too much.
Yeah, and I mean, as you've been saying, and all we got to do is, pull up any number or follow it, as the trading day continues, that it's up, and then it's down, and it's really, really down. Then there may be intraday, yo-yoing, et cetera. But that's why we have David on every single Monday to give us not only a look at what we saw since we last spoke with him, but a preview ahead, and we'll get to that straight ahead. Again, get their free white paper we've told you about called The Coming Bail-In. You can most certainly get their information packet on investing in gold and silver. No high pressure, but again, diversification is the key, especially in very tumultuous times like this. The website, landmarkgold.com, or you can give David a call. His team is ready to talk with you, 877-448-2646. We haven't had Russia and Ukraine, sadly, I think, in many situations. It's not the number one news story. It's not getting talked about as much as it was a couple of months ago, most certainly. But where are we with Russia, the currency, the oil market, all of that?
Well, China's the number one country that buys the most amount of oil in the world, and they buy it from Russia. The ruble, the Russian currency, hit a 7-year high last Friday. And what's been happening is we've had about a 20% stronger movement upward since the invasion. In other words, it's higher 20% than 4 months ago when the invasion started. It has now moved stronger than the dollar since the year 2018. And this is actually causing the demand for dollars to lessen because Russia, Putin, he put into his idea, and then they put it into place, and it happened last week. We're now more than 50 foreign countries have opened accounts with Gazprom Bank to convert their currency, either euros or dollars, now into rubles, and buy oil from Russia. One of the analysts out of Russia said on Bloomberg, pressure on the dollar and the euro will increase as more buyers open for gas with these special types of accounts. On the side note, by the way, do you guys have the gas station 76 up there?
We do not. No, we don't.
Okay. Well, it's a national company. I know it's in Washington where I grew up. There's some here in Arizona. They just cited their machines, their gas pumps, so that you can have double digits. In other words, over $10 a gallon.
Oh, my God.
They're expecting a 37% increase in gas between now and August.
I just drove by, and, in California, they'd be lined up for 5 hours, but I saw the highest price that I've ever seen in the city of Aurora, $5.35 for diesel.
Wow.
Now, we're still with the regular unleaded. We're still in the, the mid to high fours, which, again, I know for a lot of people around the country, they'd wait hours for that. But here, I mean, they're higher than we've ever seen, and you're well aware over the last week. And as we speak, the highest average for a gallon of gas in all 50 states, the highest ever. It's sick.
Wow.
My man, if we could only solve the problems in our 10 to 15 minutes together. David Fisher, again, landmarkgold.com. What is going on with the dollar right now?
So the bond king, Jeffrey Gundlach, said last Thursday on CNBC, we're now at a turning point for the U.S. dollar. It's been appreciating. I've been talking about that. He's now saying there might be a little bit more in the short term here, but now it's going to go through a long-term downward movement. We started to see that break here recently in about a month when you look at charts, and it's about ready to break a support. I don't have all the time to get into this, and I don't want to get too far in the woods, but there's a technical support level called the 50-day moving average. The dollar for that is 101. That's the index. We're at 103, so we're really close to getting ready to break down, which means lower dollars, less of them being used, goes in line with what Russia's doing. And when that's been happening here recently, that's why you saw some movements upward in gold and silver here this last week and the week and a half. That's why it's up again today. The dollar's starting to move down, and I said we're going to get too high of a dollar. We're now in the other side of it, it looks like. So the teeter-totter, dollars on one side, gold and silver on the other side. When dollars go down, gold and silver goes up.
Yep.
The dollar's been going up. But gold is still up 1% year to date. It should be down about 20% because of the strong movement in the dollar, but we're starting to see that change now.
Yeah, we'll get an insight from you as we wrap up. Real quick, I mentioned last week, and I don't know if you saw, David, over the weekend, there are some politicians out there, they're out there on the tarmac with these, C-130s coming in with baby formula. I don't know how you followed it, but I mean, it's like we're championing this. And we're the United States of America. Are you nuts? It's like a third world country getting, of all things, baby formula, and flown in. And the Defense Production Act was enacted last week before Biden left the country. I don't know if you're following this, but it's pretty damn sick to me.
Yeah, 32 pallets from Nestle baby formula came in from Ramstein Air Base on Sunday. Yeah. So it's being flown in. There's the person who's the CEO of Ford is his name, of Abbott. He finally admits and says a big apology for the death of 2 infants and 4 others being could possibly die. And I want to make sure I don't want to sound like this in any way that I'm not concerned about the parents or struggling to find formula. But it is a big challenge, and they should get that. The FDA has been behind getting involved in fixing this thing. I think that's a big problem. They got a whistleblower that came out before all this, and they did nothing. And so, yeah, I've done some research on it. It's pretty sickening.
Yeah, we got about 25 seconds with you, so I'll let you give us insight, the big picture, gold and silver, and then we'll talk to you next week.
Out of all the indexes, the Dow going up 650%, the NASDAQ 580, the S&P 640. Gold was the number one at 860%. Silver was number 2 at 770. We're getting ready for a big movement. You should call my company, learn why they were the number 1 moving investment since 2000 to now. Gold and silver is a great investment.
Nobody better. David Fisher, Landmark Capital, landmarkgold.com. That's landmarkgold.com. Thank you, brother. We'll talk to you next week. 877-448-2646. When we come back, Hinckley High School being forced to change its name in Aurora. The Aurora French boondoggle. Colorado cops. We're the best. Come work with us. And monkeypox. Woo, we're busy. Stay with us.
Hi, it's Peter Boyles here to remind you to be sure to log on 710knus.com and click on the Peter Boyles Book Club banner and watch this week's video podcast. And when you join the book club, you can see all of my video interviews, get early bird invitations, attend all live events, best-selling writers and authors, and register to win copies of our featured titles every month. And remember, it's free to sign up at 710knus.com and click the book club banner today.
This is the Cenogenics Health Minute with my good friend, Dr. Tim Watt.
Hi, I'm Dr. Watt from Cenogenics. Few things are worse for your health than a lot of sugar in your diet. And one of the biggest sources of sugar in the American diet is soda. They're full of high fructose corn syrup, leading to weight gain and diabetes. Many people try to make a better choice by switching to diet soda. Unfortunately, that doesn't help. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame are toxic to your gut bacteria and disrupt your digestion. The sweet taste of soda just feeds into your addiction to sugar, and it turns out that even without the sugar, the sweet taste triggers your brain to release insulin, the hormone that leads to weight gain. If that weren't bad enough, the carbonation, even without sweetener, causes an increase in the hormone leptin, which increases your appetite. And let's be honest, if you're using that diet soda to wash down French fries, you're lying to yourself. So stay hydrated with real water or unsweetened tea and ditch the soda.
Call Senegenics today at 720-387-3681 or visit denver.senegenics.com.
Genetics, stress, hormones, aging, all natural factors that can lead to hair loss. So until we find a way to stop aging, there is fortunately a way to reverse balding and thinning hair using groundbreaking technology. Advanced Hair Restoration's simple one-day treatment can regrow your own natural hair in those places maybe it's disappeared for years. Advanced Hair works for men and women across all ages, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. The top-rated physicians at Advanced Hair, they've improved tens of thousands of lives by reversing the clock on hair loss. Set up your free consultation today. Call them 720-459-HAIR. If it's right for you, you'll also get 250 free hair grafts plus $250 off. We might not be able to prevent all causes of hair loss, but you can regrow your own natural hair with Advanced Hair. 720-459-HAIR, or become inspired with those before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
The Tree Farm's Memorial Day sale going on now. Now's the perfect time to plant trees, shrubs, and perennials. Now get 25% off all sizes of shade trees and flowering trees, including aspen, maple, oak, and more. 3-year-old 6 to 8 foot tall autumn blaze maple trees now just $119.99 each. Visit thetreefarm.com. The Tree Farm's Memorial Day sale going on now. Come see.
I-25 to exit 235. Then 5 miles west to the Tree Farm.
News Talk 710, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. Get tickets online at 710knus.com.
Oh, it's getting heavier out here for the drive, and we did have one trouble spot, 225 in Colfax. All that activity wrapped up there, getting busier both sides of the highway between I-70 and 6th Avenue. Rest of the highways just starting to get heavier. Watch for a crash jamming first in Colorado Boulevard and a wreck at Alameda and Havana. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Denver's local talk leader. News Talk 710 KNUS. The news now.
It's 60 degrees in Denver, going down to a low of about 39 degrees. The 710 5-day forecast coming up. Well, our top story, if you're a Colorado taxpayer, you can expect a tax refund this August or September. Governor Polis signed a bill today that should give taxpayers at least $500, and it will be doubled if they file jointly. This report sponsored by Indeed.com. You know, if you need to hire, you need Indeed. Their hiring platform lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews all in one place. Learn more at Indeed.com/credit. Well, a homeless camp across from Polaris Elementary School is going to be cleaned up by city employees starting tomorrow. Concerned parents have called that camp a safety risk for their children. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is claiming at least 100,000 migrants are waiting to cross the Rio Grande River into the U.S. Abbott says he was told by the National Border Patrol Council that most of the migrants are involved in the cartels because they aren't using ports of entry to come into the U.S. Law enforcement is going to put down more razor wire along the Mexican border and make more arrests to make sure people know they'll face consequences for trespassing. Wall Street saw a rally. Dow Jones gained 618 points. S&P was up 72, and the NASDAQ added 180. Wake up with George Brockler weekday mornings from 6 to 10 right here.
There will be a lingering shower or two tonight, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well. It'll be cool, lows in the lower 40s. A cloudy, cool day on Tuesday. Temperatures will probably only be in the middle to upper 50s, and Tuesday's going to bring a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms through late Tuesday evening. Then clearing, warmer, back to near 70 on Wednesday, warmer Thursday. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
A longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
What do you do when you've got about 4 days worth of great topics to discuss? Well, you cram it into 4 hours of our program. We will get into many top stories. One of the ones that I'm, I guess, heavily invested in, I will be utilizing my friend, as I call him, and it's non-gender specific, actually, Mr. Cora, or the Colorado Open Records Act, for the two idiot Aurora City Council members. They might be very tired right now because they had a hell of a week in Paris on the taxpayer dime. We broke the story yesterday and have done our best to shame and guilt this idiot.
So I do believe in radical candor.
So do I. I was very full of radical candor over the weekend, this morning, pretty much all the way up to the moment that we're sharing with each other now. Even if this turns out to be a completely legitimate conference that Comrade Councilman Juan Marcano of Aurora and Councilwoman Comradette Crystal Murillo, even if this was totally legitimate by following the X's and O's, how about the optics? You two are morons. Especially the comrade, when for the last 2+ years, damn near everything this joker has done has been via Zoom. We understand, too, that maybe, perhaps, and I know for some of you can't believe that there is actually a Mrs. Marcano, because, wow. But apparently I have word, and hey, if I'm wrong, but you know I always say, if I'm wrong, I'll be the first to admit it. Let me know. But I got it on good authority that Mrs. Marcano also went to Paris. Y'all have a good time? Did you bring snacks and only eat at the Paris McDonald's? I find it hard to believe, and maybe it was just because he got on a plane. First of all, was he in the middle seat in the last row of the plane? We'll find out because of good old Mr. Cora. If you are a citizen of Aurora specifically, but this goes beyond that, wasn't it just, oh gosh, I don't know, about a month ago? The mayor of Denver, off with his merry band of city employees, was in Finland. Oh, well, Stephen Tubes, they do this all the time. Okay. Also, there are the optics for others as well. Remember, the mayor, Michael Hancock, was in Finland when there was, what's her name? The council president, Stacey Gilmore, was, I guess, I am in charge here in the Mile High City. When the triple homicide happened in Green Valley Ranch. And a 4-year-old, sadly, was one of the homicide victims. These people just seemingly either are that dense, and how it would look if those of us average Joes and Janes see them gallivanting around the world. Either they are so stupid, or the other alternative to me is they do not care what you think. We go quickly to the former White House press secretary, Jen Psaki, for her comments on the comrade and comradette out of Aurora. Well, She didn't have much to say. Friends, there are multiple ways to become part of this program. I'll tell you about a death threat that I received today because of the Gay Paris conference. Our number, 303-696-1971. You can, of course, text us via the app. Website has all kinds of great stuff. Welcome to our potential live stream global audience via the app or the website. And hello to YouTube. We are simulcast now every show on our 710K in US YouTube channel. Before we get into a really busy hour and the rest of nearly 3 hours together, just some of the things we are following. And like I said, there's like 3 or 4 days worth of incredible stuff to talk about. And in no particular order, but this one's pretty damn important. Did you see over the last few days, the governor of Colorado touting that his state, our state, your state, we're number 9, we're number 9, we're number 9 of a survey, and there is a survey for everything. 2022's best and worst states to be a police officer. Isn't this, as the comrade would likely say, rich? You've got George Floyd, late spring 2020. You've got the, say it with me, friends, it's almost cliche, the summer of hell 2020 Denver in decay, back to back to back to back. Nights of violence. You don't have one Democrat. Not one. Off the top of my head. Let's see. Senator Bennett. Nope, he didn't say anything. Michael Hancock. John Hickenlooper. Jared Polis. Diana DeGette. Joe Neguse. Jason Crow. Chris Hines with the idiot Denver City Council. You didn't have a Democrat state representative. You didn't have a Democrat state senator say one thing when the firestorm, just a tidal wave, tsunami, earthquake of defund those damn bastards, defund the police. No one in this state did anything now, did they? Save for their knee-jerk reaction things like Senate Bill 217. Let's get back at those cops, sheriff's deputies, because we know that there's probably one bad apple, and that bad apple, just like Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis, spoiled the whole damn orchard. Well, now, it's funny what happens in a little less than 2 years. Now, this survey, the governor is touting that Colorado is the 9th best place to be a police officer. Remember the flip side and the 180 that not only maybe some of these idiots that I've mentioned here locally and connected in local elected office, whether the DC delegation or your local idiots here, both Republican and Democrat, by the way. I never saw a Republican state senator. I never saw a Republican state representative hold a press conference having the guts to stand up against the tsunami, to try to brace himself or herself of the earthquake that was defund the police. None of you Republicans did that either, by the way, which we'll get to later in the hour. The Republican rumble over the weekend. Nice job, guys. Oh, but some are saying, oh, straw polls mean nothing. But I digress. Let me take you back to a guy named Joe Biden, who was on the campaign trail, didn't say a word at all about defunding the police now, did he? But then remember, not too long ago in that State of the Union address, we go back in the archives.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them.
Wait, I think the Democrats are giving a standing ovation.
Fund them with resources and training. resources and training they need to protect our communities.
I mean, seriously, if you have a full head of hair, I could see pulling it out. I tell you I bet you I tell you 4 times a week on average. The last thing I want to be is a hypocrite. Do not want to be a hypocrite. And that's all these people are. And now there's the governor. And really, we're in the top 8 states because, well, I could pull it up. It doesn't really matter. But the District of Columbia, they're trying to say that being a cop in D.C. is I mean, who are they kidding? Who are these jokers kidding? Let me just get through it, and then we're going to get to this Hinckley High School renaming. It's again. And you mean to tell me what entity has the power to call up a school district and say, yeah, we've thought about it. We don't like your mascot. Change it. We'll get into that. Let's see. I'm just going to count down. No drama, no drum roll. Ohio listed at number 10 of the best states to there's a humdinger incoming too. Ohio at number 10. Colorado, the 9th best place to be a cop in 2022. Followed, well, down as we get to number 1, the state of Washington, which at least at last check, that included Seattle. Chaz Chop, we hate all cops. Chaz Chop, we hate all cops. Chaz Chop, we hate all cops. Now, this survey says it's the 8th best to be a police officer, but I lied. Drum roll, please, at number 7. This is a good one. According to the Wallet Hub, 2022's best and worst states to be a cop. They're trying to convince you that coming in with a total score of 52.96, the state of Minnesota. Yeah. At number 6, Massachusetts. Number 5, Maryland. At number 4, bloody DC. Number 3, Illinois. Let me repeat that. I think the last time I checked, Chicago was in Illinois, where another 78,162 people were either shot, stabbed, raped, assaulted, burglarized, or whatever just this past weekend. Yeah. Number 3, Illinois. Number 2, best states to be a cop, California, and my former home state for a cup of coffee at number 1. It's best in 2022 if you're a cop or want to be one in the great state of Connecticut. The hypocrisy never ends, friends. Again, our number 303-696-1971. Let's see. There is the baby formula coming in on pallets, on military transport, acting as if we are a third freaking world country. There's World War III trending because Joe Biden said, well, this when asked.
You didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
Wow, that didn't take him long. That's great. That's great, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see what else. Governor Polis, just ahead of the midterms, signs the bill that'll give you by summer a $500 check. Now, he could have done this next year, but I mean, you're struggling. You're struggling. Politics has nothing to do with it, I'm sure. Mentioned the Aurora French boondoggle with Comrade and Comrade Ed. Senator John Hickenlooper right now is in Davos, Switzerland, along with a lot of Republicans as well. None of them need to be there. Coming up in our next segment or before the top of the hour, and then there's the Grizzly Rose. Many good experiences at Grizzly Rose. The Republican Rumble over the weekend. Damn. So sorry to have missed it. Tina Peters was on the Jimmy Sangenberger show this past Saturday. I've got a few things to say about it. We'll play you a little chunk of that. But in the meantime, on Friday, I got an email from one of our listeners, Steve. Steve is connected. I believe, with Hinckley High School in Aurora. And on Friday at 3:30 p.m. and 44 seconds, Larry Irvin, the principal of Hinckley High School in Aurora, sent out the following, and I will paraphrase: Hinckley High School community, we're reaching out to inform you that our school will need to change our logo and mascot over the next school year. Talks about the Prohibit American Indian Mascots Senate bill that Governor Polis passed that prohibits the use of American Indian mascots by schools, which includes public schools, charter and institute charter schools, and public institutions of higher education, collectively public school. The email letter to all parents of Hinckley High School on Friday afternoon read also, Aurora Public Schools had previously reached out to the Colorado Commission of Indian Affairs and testified to provide further information about Hinckley High School's mascot in 1965. Well, wait a minute. I want to give you a little audio, accompaniment. This is not the Hinckley High School Squaws. This is not the Hinckley High School Headhunters. This is not the Hinckley High School Indian Murderers. Here's a little audio hint. Wow. Yes, friends. The mascot that will have to be changed. Here they come again. How do they do it? The Hinckley High School Thunderbirds. You see, in 1965, the United States Air Force granted Hinckley permission to name its mascot after its precision aerobatic team, the Thunderbirds. And then the letter I will finish reading and get to our call. However, the Commission of Indian Affairs decided today, which would have been Friday, that Hinckley will need to change its logo and mascot. Thus, we will begin a process to plan for engagement and selection of a new logo and mascot over the next school year. Are you kidding me? No, I'm not. Steve joins us from Aurora. Steve, welcome, and I hope I accurately categorized the letter that you had shared, and thank you. I want you to know that got it on Friday or Saturday, and I have not stopped thinking about this. Where are you on the entire issue?
Well, I am a parent. I have 2 students who have graduated. I have another one that's currently, I'll most likely have a future student. And the whole thing just boggles my mind.
Yep.
And I think what gets me is, since when did the Indian Affairs people get overruling authority? And I read the whole thing, and I'm like you, it's just like, okay, where does this go?
Right. And I agree with you. And this is at the risk of, I don't know your race. I don't care. But I'm going to tell you, I am white, and I probably haven't apologized for that in a while. But the Commission of Indian Affairs decided today that Hinckley will need to change its logo and mascot. You are giving the power to these people. And again, if it were the squaws, okay, I get it. Or the baby papooses, I get it. The Thunderbirds, when there is direct linkage that this is named after the United States Air Force Thunderbird team, this should outrage everybody, no matter where you are in this state.
That's where I'm at. And, when I look at the logo, and does it have a little bit of a, Native American flair to it? Probably. Is it derogative towards that group at all? No. It's a very positive thing. I struggle with, like the formerly Washington Redskins, team. I struggle with that. I understand it. I understand the Braves, although I don't feel it's derogative. I understand, the Indians. I understand those things. The Arapaho Warriors, I'm assuming they'll have to change that.
No, I think there are. Here's another thing, Steve. The way I understand it is there are exceptions to this. So I would ask if we could get somebody on with the Commission of Indian Affairs. Why are you saying, nope, we've decided, Hinckley, you've got to change yours, but then say Arapaho High School can remain the Warriors?
Because that seems to me like that's a more, I mean, maybe it's a prideful thing for them in a good way that, they have a reputation of being a warrior, a strong people. I'm mystified.
Yeah.
So the rumor mill around the school is they're going to attempt to change just the
logo
itself and go straight to the direct U.S. Thunderbird or Air Force Thunderbirds logo.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're taking offense to the fact that the logo has squiggly lines that are sometimes associated with Native American art. I'm mystified. I don't get it.
Yeah. I don't know, Steve, if as a parent of students past and present at Hinckley High School in Aurora, if you've ever had anything to do with the principal, Larry Irvin. I don't know him from anybody, so I don't want to be too harsh, but it sure would have been refreshing in the email to parents, instead of hearing what he said, and I quote, "Although some may be disappointed with this decision, I ask for your partnership as we prepare to create a new logo and mascot that represents our school community. I wish, just because I'm so sick of this cancel culture, we're going to change this, and we don't want to offend anybody. I wish the principal had been something like, and although some may be disappointed with this decision, no one is more disappointed than me. And we will be taking this up with, I don't know, our parent group or whatever." That's not what was conveyed in this email to parents.
No, it wasn't. And, I'm guessing that our wonderful left-leaning school board in Aurora Public Schools probably, and the lawyers probably told them, this isn't a fight we want to get into, so let's change. And then the next email I got is that Dr. Irving is leaving Hinckley High School, going to a higher level at the district as the head of some kind of talent development. And he's actually, to his credit, he's been a pretty good principal for the last, I think, 3 years he's been there. But yeah, he's being promoted to a district level.
Well, I wonder, Steve, come on. I mean, you and I sound like we probably agree on a lot of stuff. I wonder why, if you're getting promoted and going to a higher level, that you wouldn't put in, "I'm going to fight like hell for this." I mean, you know what I mean?
I would hate to say politics is involved.
No.
Because it just can't be.
Listen, this is proof positive. I read my emails and I cannot thank you enough. I'm going to talk about this a bit later on in the program, but thank you for bringing this to my attention. And it is just more lunacy as the days and weeks continue. So thank you, brother, for that. I greatly appreciate it. And for listening as well.
Yeah, thank you. Aurora's crazy on all fronts. So thanks for talking about it.
You bet. And yes, they are. In fact, well, we got to do it. As we go to the break, simple storage, clean quality construction, oui. Our friends of the program, Joyce and Brent Tolliver, they own the small Colorado business known as Roll 'em Out Shelves. I love, even my mother, she opened up the drawer in the kitchen yesterday, and I said, "How do you like those Roll 'em Out shelves?" And good old mom said, "I love them." If it's mom approved, it's right for you. Upgrade, a little mini home upgrade for you. You can get rollout shelves installed in your kitchen, bath, laundry, basement, any room with cabinet space. They'll do free in-home estimates. Get on Joyce and Brent's schedule. Nothing feels better than decluttering and getting more organized. They're made of sturdy Baltic birch and made right here in Colorado. So maximize your space. Call them today for your free estimate. Tell them Steffan sent you. 303-475-9601. That's 303-475-9601 or rollemoutshelves.com. That's rollemoutshelves.com. I have no idea how to say that in French.
rollemoutshelves.com. Pepe Le Pew.
Oh, we got to cancel him too. We're back. Jay, you're up next. Colorado number 9, best places to be a cop. It doesn't get any more crazy than Monday's edition of The Truth, 710 KNUS.
Traffic's loading up across the highways. That I-25 drive are getting busy downtown. Now, a stall being reported south on I-25, just past University, left side of the highway, that inside left shoulder, left lane affected. Watch for this back toward the Washington Bridge. Crash, Alameda and Havana. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka sees the left using another crisis.
What happened here is simple and straightforward. Terrorism, domestic terrorism.
They're using it. The bodies haven't been buried. The attack in Buffalo is being exploited, is being perverted for political purposes.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 1 on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Listen now, and your bank account will thank you. Hi, George Brockler here. I'm blown away by the program my friend and realtor Gay Ribble, the Ribble Group, Keller Williams Realty DTC, has launched. Sell your home and pay zero commission. Yes, you can list your home with the Ribble Group, get full service, and the buyer will pay all of the commission. I've talked a lot about how Gay Ribble has the buyers. Well, now Gay has the buyers willing to pay all of the commission so you can net more money. You can sell your home now by matching your home to one of her buyers who will pay the commission for you. With interest rates on the rise, you're going to want to act quickly. The Ribble Group's zero commission program makes it easy, matching your home to one of their buyers who will pay all the commission. To learn more about the zero commission program, call the Ribble Group at 833-301-SOLD. That's 833-301-SOLD, or visit Gay, spelled Gaye, hasthebuyers.com. That's gayhasthebuyers.com.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Traffic.
All right.
This wagon commute is killing me. You mind if I turn on your old radio?
Oh, this song again. I swear they play the same 3 chants on every station.
At this rate, it's going to take a fortnight to get to work.
Well, just be glad you don't need to fill up. I mean, have you seen the price of hay?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout history, people have always hated to commute. That's why Monster lets you search work from home jobs. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
Hi, it's Steffan Tubbs to remind you that Mondays in the 3 p.m. hour, we get the latest on financial markets and how to protect your hard-earned money. Join my friend and advisor, David Fisher of Landmark Gold. You know, as markets continue to fluctuate, inflation hits our pockets, and government spending increases, David shares his wisdom as well as principles to navigate these times. Money Mondays in the 3 p.m. hour right here on 710 KNUS during the Steffan Tubbs Show, or catch hour 1 of the podcast. Learn more on David at landmarkgold.com.
News Talk. Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710 KNUS.
It's Music Monday in honor of Comrade Marcano and Comradette Murillo from the city of Aurora. City council members on your taxpayer dime just got back from France. Matt, let's hit it a little bit. Here's a question for you. Oh, by the way, French music that we don't know what they're saying up until 7 o'clock tonight, spun by DJ Matt. There's an Aurora City Council meeting tonight. Anybody have the guts to bring it up? Anybody? with all due respect, with radical candor, I think she's terrific. Doesn't quite walk on water, but almost. Danielle Jurinsky, will you bring it up? Dustin Zvonik, Steve Sundberg, Francois Bergen, Mayor Kaufman. You put it out on Facebook and social media that you basically felt like everybody was getting screwed. I believe. Oh, how about, I don't think the city manager, Jim Twombly, will say anything. Kaufman's quote, council members Juan Marcano and Crystal Murillo just returned from a trip to Paris that'll be paid for by the taxpayers of Aurora. How did this happen? With all due respect, you're the freaking mayor. How did this happen? Kaufman's comment this morning, apparently they found a conference in Paris, signed up for it, and are using the taxpayers of Aurora to pay for it. For Aurora City Council members to be attending a conference in Paris, of all places, is an insult to the hardworking taxpayers of this city. Oh, Mayor, I am right there with you. I will be utilizing this program, this radio station. We're going to be using Mr. Cora or the Colorado Open Records Act. I hope with radical candor, comrade and comradette saved their receipts. So we will continue to follow that. Much more coming up at the top of the hour after Jeff's news as we enter the 5 p.m. hour. Also, I'll be a little long in this segment. Got one phone call, and then we get into the event that I did not attend, the Republican Rumble, with I think almost 500 tickets sold. This was not a KNUS event. I believe we were a sponsor. But I saw the straw poll results. Did you? Good luck. Remember, every time we talk about this red wave that may come in November, and I keep saying, I sure hope it doesn't circumvent Colorado. Ooh. Looking at that straw poll, it more than likely will. We'll get to that in a moment. Tina Peters on with Jimmy Sangenberger. I'll play you just a few minutes of her appearance over the weekend. First, though, another big story. After the back-to-back nights of riots, Summer of Hell 2020 in Denver and Decay. After coast to coast, Democrats of all shapes, sizes, races, genders, and the LBTGQIAPQ exclamation point and plus. None of them said anything either except defund the police. But now there's a new, and proudly touted, by the way, by Colorado Governor Jared Polis, a new, survey that is out calling Colorado the 9th best place in the country to be a cop. Interesting. Jay in Highlands Ranch joins us. Brother man, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Steffan. How are you doing?
Good, man. What is your take? Number 9. I would have thought maybe I wouldn't be surprised if we came in at number 49 or 39, but number 9, wow, made the top 10.
Yeah, no, I would put us bottom 2. Big reason for that, obviously, Senate Bill 217 allowed for law enforcement in Colorado to be civilly sued in state law, up to $25,000. One of 2 states, the other, I believe, is either Washington or Oregon, that has a similar legislation in place. So why would you want to come to a state where they're going to target you personally, your personal finances? Doesn't make sense to me. And then a state where they actually praise their law enforcement, actually the governor handed out checks to all law enforcement. Florida is nowhere to be seen in that top 10, along with Texas.
Florida, just so you know, Jay, comes in, and to your point, what DeSantis did, Florida, according to this wallethub.com survey, Florida, the 36th best place.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And once I heard this on your program, I tried to look at it, and the survey to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's done by a financial guy, so I wonder if a big part of it is how much law enforcement makes in that state. Because I think California was up there.
California is number 2. California is number 2.
So California, I can tell you, most law enforcement in California probably make over $100,000. But per cost of living, obviously, it's not a lot. But if they're looking at salary, well, sure, we're going to be up there because Colorado's not cheap to live in either.
Right.
But you look at states like South Dakota, Wyoming. Kristi Noem's a huge backer of her cops as well. But cops there don't make a whole lot because it doesn't cost a whole lot to live there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way it makes sense to me. Other than that, all the other things they're looking at just didn't make sense on how it would affect the quality of being a cop in that state.
Yeah, this lists, and it lists 51 because of the District of Columbia, with which I think is laughable. That in the District of Columbia, you mean to tell me that with the crime there and all the crap that it's at number 4 on the survey? But the rounding out the worst, they say that the worst is Arkansas, followed I guess at 49 Hawaii, 48 Alaska, 47 West Virginia, 46 Mississippi, and 45 Nevada. And the top 10 counting down: Ohio at number 10, Colorado 9, Washington State 8. Right. I mean, Chaz, Chop, we hate cops. At number 7, Minnesota. I find that ironically delicious. Let's see. Number 6, Massachusetts. Number 5, Maryland. Number 4, the District of Columbia. Number 3, Illinois, because God knows it's probably really easy for Lightfoot and Chicago crime to be a cop just in the Chicagoland area. Number 2, California, and as we mentioned, number 1, Connecticut. I'll give you the final word, my brother, and of course, we always wish you the best as you are out there on patrol.
Yes, I appreciate it, Steffan, and I can tell you the top 10, if I were to leave Colorado to be a cop somewhere else, none of those states would be on my list.
Exactly.
If the governor wants to really know the thoughts of us, send out a survey. We'll all be happy to fill them out for him. And breaking news to Mr. Polis, Governor Polis, you've been snowed.
Great call. Thank you, brother, as always, and be safe. Before we take our news update, the Republican rumble. I'll get to the straw poll over the weekend. But first, Tina Peters, under indictment. Tina Peters in studio with Jimmy Sangenberger. You are about to hear the voice of someone who has no shot ever of becoming Secretary of State. But that's just my opinion. Tina Peters this past Saturday.
We haven't had a presidential primary in 20 years. So that added another election for us. So 4 elections in 12 months.
But when did you turn off cameras previous to May?
I'd have to look back in the
Okay.
but I have.
I'd be curious.
I've
be curious to know that.
Yeah,
because my
I've turned them on.
understanding is they were not. But if there were, I'd love to know a date.
You bet.
And then I'd be happy to clarify that.
Sure,
So we can talk about that, because the timing of it before you, according to the indictment, had Gerald Wood recruited to go through a background check, and then after going through the background check, go get his access card. And
wait a minute, we were going to talk about why I'm the best to be the Secretary of State.
well, this was just the timing you mentioned about the cameras and went into that.
Right.
So I do think it's pertinent, because when we're talking about fitness for office and we're talking about viability in an electoral context, when you do have some of those things, and we've talked about it in the program, that are presented in the indictment. I mean, the issue is with the cameras is not the cameras being turned off so much themselves in terms of the law, but the timing of that. But please go ahead.
Well, I mean, that was purely a coincidence, because I had asked to have them turned off for those months and then turned back on when it was appropriate, actually earlier than they were required. So that's laid to rest. They're trying to use circumstantial evidence to prove that there was a crime, and there was no crime permitted.
Was it Gerald Wood who went in on that May 23rd?
I think you're going to probably have to talk to my attorneys about that.
Sure.
But
I mean, fair, obviously, the ongoing
Mhm.
investigation.
Right,
and all
right.
That, so.
But let me just say this, there's a lot, I know where the bodies are buried, figuratively speaking. And, that there are a lot of questions that people have, and I'm very upfront to answer them, because there were crimes committed. Jenna Griswold should be in jail. She should be in jail for deleting election files, which is a violation of Colorado law, which are required to be kept for 25 months, and federal law that are required to be kept for 22 months. That is not in question. They were election and are election files. And I can show you, and when you have the experts in, they can show you those files and why they're so important to prove the validity of the election. The 36 wireless devices, now they admit. They never would admit this before. Now they will admit.
We're almost out of time. So
all right, let me talk about the
Yeah.
Secretary of State.
Go ahead, real
Okay,
quick.
so recently passed legislation, Colorado Senate Bill 153, makes the Secretary of State the sole arbiter and dictator of all elections in Colorado. This is tyranny. Everything that I have done properly and legally is now made illegal. When I'm elected as Secretary of State, I will return the responsibility and control of elections back to the elected county clerks and recorders. We must have fair and transparent elections, Jimmy.
Oh. She was reading. She read that. She read that off of someone who was in this very studio not 72 hours ago, who I don't know if it was a handler. She read that. Earlier in Jimmy's interview with her, Tina Peters read from like a piece of paper. You're no better than Jen Psaki in her 3-ring binder. I listened to the hour. Sadly, they didn't get into Mike Lindell. One of the first questions I would have asked, is it true you sleep on my pillow sheets? Tina Peters, very arrogant, doesn't answer the questions. When the questions got tough, well, I think you just better call my attorney. Well, Tina Peters, Ron Hanks, you have no chance. Colorado GOP, you know it. We'll give you the results of the straw poll when we come back after a news timeout. You read 2 different times in your interview. You tried to dictate the direction that my friend and colleague Jimmy Sangenberger, who is obviously very intelligent, who is obviously on top of this story and knows it, Tina, as best as you do, probably. You read from a piece of paper and you read from someone's cell phone, and you wanted to try to, whoa, I thought we were going to talk about why I could be the Secretary of State. I'm no fan of Jenna Griswold, but Jenna Griswold, there's a reason why her feet are proverbially up on the desk right now and her arms are behind her head and she's sipping on, well, I guess one arm behind her head because she's sipping on a pina colada. Because Tina Peters, you will not win. Ridiculous. Straw poll results coming up. 5 o'clock hour, more French connection of comrade and comradette. If you're facing hair loss and you're looking for a solution that works, do yourself a favor. Simply set up a free consultation with Advanced Hair Restoration today. Find out if your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning hair is in fact optimal or optional. Imagine the relief just knowing that a full head of hair is a real possibility for you. Advanced Hair's one-day treatment begins growing in your own natural hair the very next day. It is backed by their industry-leading guarantee. It's incredible. They can address decades of your hair loss in just a day. Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care always makes it the perfect time to pursue your needs. And you need to do yourself that favor. Call for the free consultation. If you choose to move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free hair grafts. 720-459-HAIR. Their process is incredibly simple. Probably making the phone call will be the hardest part for you. 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Or view the before and after pictures right now at advancedhair.com.
News Talk 710. Update.
Wall Street is starting the week with a rally. Bank stocks and tech shares led the rebound as all 3 major indices gained more than 1.5%. President Biden says an economic recession is not inevitable. He cites the fact that thousands of jobs are being added by companies such as Hyundai and Samsung. The U.S. Defense Secretary is carefully stepping around questions about President Biden's remarks about honoring a commitment to defend Taiwan. Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. policy on Taiwan has not changed, and that echoed an earlier statement from the White House clarifying Biden's remarks. And infants and toddlers may soon be able to receive COVID vaccines. An expert FDA panel will be reviewing data on Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for children next month, potentially setting up for an authorization this summer. This report sponsored by Allstate. Looking to save money? With DriveWise from Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you can save. At Allstate, better protection costs a whole lot less. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today. Jeff Hildebrandt, News Talk 710.
Headed out of downtown to get some minor delays. We got a stall working south on I-25 south of University. Left shoulder there blocked off. Jams are back toward Lincoln Broadway, about 5 minutes to get through there. And down south, had an issue north on I-25 past Toma Road, car into the median. That's exit 174. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
There will be a lingering shower or two tonight, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well. It'll be cool, lows in the lower 40s. A cloudy, cool day on Tuesday. Temperatures will probably only be in the middle to upper 50s, and Tuesday's going to bring a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms through late Tuesday evening. Then clearing, warmer, back to near 70 on Wednesday, warmer Thursday. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty.
In today's active real estate market, don't pay too much to sell your house. Colorado Flat Fee Realty is now offering a 2% option. If you were selling a $500,000 house, the agent typically charges you 6%. That's $30,000 for just a few days of work. Colorado Flat Fee Realty has a much better way. On that same $500,000 sale, you would save thousands with Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option. Why would you list your house with anyone else? Pay less, keep more. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Call 303-300-9660 to find out more. 303-300-9660 or visit ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Pay less, keep more, save thousands.
This is Hugh Hewitt for townhall.com. As we quickly approach the midterm election, the nation is naturally looking past it to the 2024 presidential contest. It will mark my 9th as a Republican commentator and 50 years since I first voted in 1974. The party has changed a lot over that half century. 2 huge changes have rocked the party. Externally, the national security challenge posed by a hardline Chinese Communist Party. Every Republican who wants to win will have to recognize the fact that China is the new USSR. We need to respond accordingly. The second change, of course, is the rise of Donald Trump. The former president's populism has brought untold numbers into the party and vastly reorganized his thinking about trade and some aspects of foreign policy. Trump is likely to run, but that's not a given. Keep your eyes on Governor DeSantis, former Secretary of State Pompeo, Arkansas Tom Cotton, and I could go on. Voters should have their eyes on one thing: winning. We don't want another 4-year rumble with the hard left.
News Talk 710, KNUS.
Listen live on Odyssey.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs. News Talk 710, KNUS.
Tonight, we have no idea what they're singing, but it sounds good. And if you don't know about the boondoggle trip to Gay Paris for, with radical candor, of course, for Marcano and Murillo, and apparently Mrs. Marcano, on the taxpayer dime in Aurora, we'll fill you in Trust me, I've got plenty to say. Even the mayor, when Kaufman speaks, holy cow. But this Colorado Republican rumble. The straw poll. 425 tickets were sold on Saturday. Let me get to this. And then apparently it was, at least for a quick moment, a show with Lori Sane, who may have acted insane for maybe a blip of time, trying to rush the stage. It's always a good look. For Colorado Secretary of State. 47%. Excuse me. My bad. 47 votes for Pam Anderson. 78 votes for Mike O'Donnell. And the aforementioned Tina Peters gets 88 votes. Good luck with that. For Congress, District 8, newly created, as you know, Tyler Alcorn receives 17 votes. Sorry, Tyler. Jen Coleman, 50 votes. Lori, I'm not insane, sane, 53 votes. And Barb Kirkmeyer, 62 votes. For Colorado Governor, Greg Lopez, 85 votes. Heidi Ganahl, 138 votes. And for United States Senate, challenging, of course, the silent workhorse, Joe O'Dea, 102 votes. Ron Hanks, 119 votes. So Tina Peters gets the most votes for Secretary of State. Ron Hanks, the most votes in the race for United States Senate. Neither one, it will snow on Satan's front porch before either one of them defeat the incumbents. You know that. I know that. They know that. The Colorado GOP knows that. Michael Bennett knows that. And so does Jenna Griswold. But you just keep on smoking what you're smoking before you send a nasty gram, hate mail. I've already had a death threat today, so you can't really, I guess, top that. Before you send me the nasty gram, though, search your soul. You know it's true. And I guess, well,
I have spoken.
In the Colorado Times Recorder, a complete, total show of a stupid deal. Republican Steve Reams, master of ceremonies at the Republican Rumble, leapt off stage to cut off congressional candidate Lori Sane as she rushed to join the debate. I'm Lori Sane and I accepted the invitation, she said as she approached the stage. Reams, though, friend of the program, loved the brother, hit the floor and chased Sane to the aisle where she joined the ticket-holding onlookers. That's my Republican Party in Colorado. By the way, Ron Hanks, Thursday, live in studio. I respect his service. Stay with us. French Talk next.
George Brockler with The George Show. If you missed today, a fantastic discussion with Julie Grant from Court TV dissecting the Depp Heard trial. We talked a little bit about the Republican Rumble. We'll keep that going tomorrow. And a special guest, Josh Shar from the Independence Institute on The George Show, 710 KNUS.
George Brockler, tomorrow morning from 6 to 10 on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Hi, it's Peter Boyles. We're in the most active season of the year right now, but if you have joint pain, you can't live like you want to. Hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, it sucks the fun right out of living. QC Kinetics is helping our listeners get the fun back with advanced regenerative treatments from local medical professionals. Regenerative medicine takes growth factors from healing properties right from your own body, highly concentrated, then puts them back into your aching joints. This exciting in-office, non-surgical treatment can repair and restore damaged tissues in your joints, giving you lasting relief from pain. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in these cutting-edge, all-natural options, and patient satisfaction reports are incredible. 100 clinics nationwide, including right here in Aurora and Superior. Yes, get real relief, no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Call QC Kinetics right now. Learn more about regenerative medicine and get a free in-office consultation. 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986. 303-900-8986.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barata. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful in lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son founders of Relief Factor, tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor selected the 4 best ingredients, 100% drug-free ingredients that each help your body deal with inflammation. Order the 3-week quick start now. Discount it to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you too. Call 800-500-8384. ReliefFactor.com.
KNUS Denver, a Salem Media Group station. News Talk 710, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. Get tickets online at 710knus.com.
Driving to downtown, south on I-25, 15 minutes from Colfax down to University. You have a stall just south of University. The left shoulder affected there, adding to those delays. Down south, got a car into the median, north on I-25 past Toma Road. That's on the shoulder. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Denver's local talk leader. News Talk 710 KNUS. The news now.
It's 60 degrees in Denver, going down to a low tonight of just under 40 degrees. 710 5-day forecast is coming up. Well, new FBI data shows active shooter incidents nationwide rose dramatically in 2021, and they have nearly doubled between 2017 and last year. This report sponsored by Staples Stores. Now, Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small businesses and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com. CDC is warning gay and bisexual men as monkeypox spreads to the U.S. This comes after the World Health Organization announced the recent surge in cases likely spread among men who have sex with other men. Georgia officials believe the state's new voting law is driving a record turnout at the polls for the 2022 primary election. Georgia's Secretary of State says the 3-week voting period has seen voters show up in record numbers. In the NHL, and St. Louis Police Department investigating some online threats made toward Colorado Avalanche forward Nazem Kadri. who was involved in a collision with the St. Louis Blues goalie, and it knocked the goalie out of the game. On Wall Street, Dow Jones gained 618 points. NASDAQ was up 180, and the S&P rose 72.
There will be a lingering shower or two tonight, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well. It'll be cool, lows in the lower 40s. A cloudy, cool day on Tuesday. Temperatures will probably only be in the middle to upper 50s, and Tuesday's going to bring a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms through late Tuesday evening. Then clearing, warmer, back to near 70 on Wednesday, warmer Thursday. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
Portions of the following program have been pre-recorded. A longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Halfway through this show, we've been getting to it. We just got done discussing the Republican Rumble. The Republican Rumble. I think our Jeff Hildebrand said they should have called this. It should have been like the Republican Rumble at the Rose. 3 R's. At least I think those of us conservatives on the right side of the aisle, we know about the 3 R's. They don't care. I believe Steve Reams, Sheriff, Weld County, friend of the program, love him like a brother, will be joining us at the bottom of the hour to give us a play-by-play. Let's open up the door to newsroom number 2, please.
Dateline, unincorporated Adams County, which is where the Grizzly Rose is. Lori, don't call me insane, sane, tries to bum rush the Republican Rumble stage, only to be thwarted by Sheriff Steve Reams. Reams joins Tubbs, bottom of the hour.
Let's close that newsroom door, number 2. That teletype's always, though, busy in there. Never has seemed to run out of ink. It's great. Friends, there are seriously there's so many things, different things to talk about after a weekend of just insanity in certain things. Like 710K in US. Steffan Tubbs, that's me. Breaking a story over the weekend that now, thankfully, others have followed. I love giving our mainstream media in Denver stories and the things we're focusing on. Yeah, maybe I'm being conceited, but I can back it. Just go and look who reported it first. That was us. That they can't ignore. Now, Kaufman comes out today saying that why were these 2 council members in France on the Aurora taxpayer dime? I love the fact that most everybody now has followed suit. Because, see, they hate, for the most part, me, this show. I don't know if I go so far as to say hate, but they kind of dislike your type if you listen to this show. And we do welcome, of course, our spies and friends on the left that listen. Not all of our friends on the left who listen, by the way, are considered spies. Some of them are. But you've got this Aurora boondoggle we'll get into in just a moment. You've got also Dateline Aurora in decay. An email comes out late Friday afternoon from the principal of Hinckley High School. That didn't Hinckley High School, I say this, I don't want to play dumb. Of course I know. There was a multiple person shooting in the park next to Hinckley High School just earlier this year. Hinckley High School now has to change its mascot because, well, the Commission of Indian or on Indian Affairs in Colorado says, we don't like your mascot. If you are just hearing this for the first time, of course, the school is going to capitulate. Just look at the email that I read from the principal. I'll try to get to that in a sec. They're not the Hinckley High School Headhunters. They're not the Hinckley High School Braves, Indians, or Redskins. They're not the Hinckley High School Warriors or Squaws. The Commission on Indian Affairs does not like, therefore, apparently, if you're, what, you want to talk about a powerful entity? Apparently, whatever the Colorado Commission of Indian Affairs wants, the Colorado Commission of Indian Affairs gets. You see, the Hinckley High School mascot is, well, I'll give you a hint. Woo, look at those Air Force Thunderbirds. It's the sound of freedom. Now, Principal Larry Irvin's email to parents at 3:30 and 44 seconds on Friday afternoon stated as follows, quote, Aurora Public Schools had previously reached out to the Colorado Commission of Indian Affairs and testified to provide information about Hinckley High School's mascot. Wait for it. ... Dramatic pause for radio listeners. Okay. The email goes on to say, quote, in 1965, the United States Air Force granted Hinckley permission to name its mascot after its precision aerobatic team called the Thunderbirds. But the letter goes on from Principal Irvin, quote, however, the Commission of Indian Affairs decided today, last Friday, that Hinckley will need to change its logo and mascot. Thus, we will begin a process to plan for engagement and selection of a new logo and mascot over the next school year, close quote. We love to be live and local, don't we? And apparently the next thing on the horizon to be, I guess, scared less about is monkeypox.
CBS News chief medical correspondent Dr. John LaPook says the virus can make you miserable.
Symptoms include fever, headache, aches and pains, fatigue, and swollen lymph nodes. Illness usually lasts 2 to 4 weeks.
About 1 to 3% of those infected in West Africa, where monkeypox is endemic, die from it. But Dr. LaPook says in the U.S., the virus has not proved deadly.
During a 2003 outbreak of monkeypox caused by an imported African rodent, 47 people became ill, but nobody died.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Next up on the Where Should We Be Concerned Tonight file. Did you see over the weekend the celebration by some politicians? Oh my God, thank you. Thank you, UK. Thank you, Nestle. Thank you, Netherlands. Thank you, France. Whomever sent the United States of America its baby food.
The infant formula coming into this country will have to be tested, and Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack says it could be a few weeks before it's on store shelves.
This shipment provides enough formula to take care of 9,000 babies and 18,000 toddlers for a week.
Dr. Emily Weber, Chief Medical Information Officer for Indiana University Health, was glad to see the first batch of 39 tons arrive in Indianapolis.
These families and these children need these formulas to grow and thrive just every day. And so to see this kind of urgency in action is really, really special.
Steve Kathan, CBS News.
Like we are some freaking third world country. You know, there are many, many, many things that the Biden administration should hang its collective head and hang it low, like really low. And when it comes to, as I saw earlier on social media today, maybe you did as well, World War III, now trending once again. Yes, awesome. Why? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But celebrating 39 million tons or however much baby formula, I said baby food, I meant, of course, baby formula, which I guess technically could be considered baby food. Celebrating that our friends, well, we've helped so many others in our time of crisis. Thank goodness this global community helps out the Estados Unidos. Thank you, Nestle. We're going to make sure to give you a big corporate tax break coming up. Sick. The president leaves the country, going to South Korea and now Japan. But before he does it, invokes the Defense Production Act. Well, we better get some more baby formula here, Dr. Jill. What do you think? Well, he couldn't say it to her in person because last week she's on a boondoggle to Central America, making sure that they know that we still love them. But wait, I don't know who was away to play. Was Jill outside of the country to play, or was Joe outside the country to play? Well, regardless, strap yourself in for this one, baby. Why World War III was trending today on social media. Get a load of this.
You didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
Wait, what?
You are.
That's the commitment we made.
What? Joe?
That's the commitment we made. We are not, look, here's the situation. We agree with the one China policy. We signed on to it and all the attendant agreements made from there. But the idea that it can be taken by force, just taken by force, is just not appropriate. It'll dislocate the entire region and be another action similar to what happened in Ukraine. And so it's a burden that is even stronger.
President Biden made international headlines when answering a question from CBS News' Nancy Cordes about what would happen if China invades Taiwan.
Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes, that's the commitment we made. Here's the situation. We agree with the one China policy. We signed on to it and all the attendant agreements made from there. But the idea that it can be taken by force is just not appropriate.
Under the one China policy, America recognizes and has formal ties to mainland China, but does not endorse Beijing's position that Taiwan should be governed by China.
Got it? Good. On to the next topic that we could talk about probably for an entire show. Over the weekend, did some of you see Governor Jared Polis on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, touting that we're number 9. Number 8, technically, because DC's not a state. We're number 9 as to the 2022 Wallet Hub. I'm sure a lot of you law enforcement officers currently on staff or maybe retired often went to get the pulse of law enforcement in the country. I'm sure you went to wallethub.com. But be that as it may, wallethub.com, did I say .com? .com is what I meant, is out with its 2022's best and worst states to be a police officer. Before I give you the top 10, and we've got much more, trust me, I'm kind of just warming up for the wee wee. Juan Marcano and Crystal Murillo, Jaunt to Paris. We'll get to that in a moment. Back to the top places. Need I remind you, friends, of the country that we still live in, and it is, to me, without a doubt, even if we've got to take baby formula from Nestle and the Netherlands, wherever it's coming from, we still live in the greatest country on earth. But we have had better days than, say, some of the days over the past, I don't know, 5 years? Keep in mind, as Governor Jared Polis is touting that Colorado, according to Wallet Hub, is the 9th best place in the country for the opportunity to be a police officer. Let's see, where the state and most city councils, et cetera, really don't back. They'll say they do, but they don't really back the blue. This is also a state, say it with me because it's cliche, back in the summer of hell 2020, Denver and Decay, Colorado, USA, and our late spring, early summer back to back to back to back nights of hell and violence, where because of the thug and criminal George Floyd, as I always say, sidebar, George Floyd should be alive today. But George Floyd was not a good man, and for all of the tea in China, certainly did not deserve a statue anywhere. But be that as it may, taking you back to that tumultuous time in recent United States history, not Governor Polis, not Mayor Hancock, not Mayor Kaufman, not Congress members DeGette, Neguse, Crow, not Senator Bennett. For that matter, at the time, not Senator Gardner, not Doug Lamborn, not one Republican member of anything elected in this state, let alone a Democrat. None of them said one word in opposition to defunding the police, including in 2020, then presidential candidate Joseph R. Biden. None of them said a word. Not Sita Baca, not Comrade Marcano. In fact, some of those on the Aurora City Council, like Juan Marcano, they went down to the trouble at, say, Aurora City Hall or that Aurora Police Precinct. They were not there to support the men and women in law enforcement. They were there to make sure that the troublemakers were not being, how shall I say, taken advantage of by those of you who have sworn to protect and serve. None of them said a word. But then remember, we got a midterm election coming up. We are slowly finding out that not everybody, you mean to tell me not everybody who votes, they don't all agree that the police should be defunded? Chaz, Chop, we hate the cops. Washington, Oregon, California, Colorado, Minnesota, New York, Illinois, wherever. Nobody said a damn word. There's not one Republican in Colorado that at the critical time where they could have come on a radio program like this one, they could have held a press conference at whether the state capitol, their front driveway, the city and county building, none of them, no Republican stood up and held a press conference saying, this is lunacy. These people are crazy. None of the Republicans did that. So do you think any Democrat did? You know the answer to that. But then they started to realize, I think over the last, I don't know, maybe 12 to 15 months, not everybody's buying that defund the police thing. Mr. President, how about your State of the Union? You can address the defund the police. Mr. President, here's what we think you should read. Let's take you back to the archives. He did.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them. Fund them with resources and training. Resources and training they need to protect our communities.
Wow, even the Democrats actually got off their asses and stood up inside the House chamber during the State of the Union. Wow. So now the governor is touting over the weekend that Colorado is the 9th best place in the country to be a cop. Come on. At number 10, according to Wallet Hub. Ohio. Ticking down to number 1, Colorado. At number 8, Washington. Again, Washington, I believe, is the place help me out. Maybe somebody on the Aurora City Council, never mind, most of you wouldn't know. I believe Seattle is in the state of Washington. Chaz Chop, we hate the cops. At number 7, this is really rich. Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah. Number 6, Massachusetts, best place to be a cop in 2022. Number 5, Maryland. Number 4, the District of Columbia. It's so it's so crazy and filled with lunacy. I don't even want to spend time telling you why that's crazy. At number 3, equally as insane, the third best state / District of Columbia to be a cop in 2022, according to Wallet Hub, the state of Illinois. I believe Chicago is in the state of Illinois, and I think probably 840 people probably got shot or shot at just this past weekend. At number 2, California comes in at the second best place to be a cop in 2022. And at number 1, a state that trust me, I used to live there. Not a lot of people really think about ever, even people in the tri-state area, except for, well, there's a lot of rich people, the state of Connecticut. I got to say, if I had a choice between Colorado, Washington, Illinois, New Jersey, I probably would pick Connecticut as well. And this says the worst places, by the way, just the top 3, Alaska, Hawaii, and Arkansas. And there you go. Give you a positive today as we head toward our traffic and weather break. I'm not sure if you either knew about this or how have you celebrated.
May 23rd marks the celebration of World Turtle Day, or celebration if you're cheeky. Scientifically, it could even be a skelebration, since the turtle shell is actually part of the skeleton and made up of over 50 bones. But enough shenanigans. Turtle Day sheds a light on more serious matters. It was founded in 1990 for the protection of all species of turtle and tortoise.
Happy World Turtle Day.
Turtles and tortoises are common sightings in parables, stories, and pop culture, and we celebrate World Turtle Day on May 23rd.
That's today. It's World Turtle Day. So turtles and monkeys, both in the news today. I'd prefer to just think the positive that everybody's out cutting up their, the plastic things that holds the six-pack together. What are you trying to kill baby turtles? Got to make sure you cut those up. When we come back, yes, we will. We'll have more in our final 30 minutes of this hour, talking about the boondoggle on you, taxpayer of Aurora, comrade and comradette, Marcano and Murillo. They're probably sleeping because, you travel internationally. I mean, it takes a toll. You got fleeced. The mayor's talking about it. Oh, you know what? Marcano, though, he's probably not asleep because I wonder if he'll call in sick tonight. There is an Aurora City Council meeting that starts in a little more than an hour. Wonder if he'll give us a rundown of what he did in Paris and how much it cost you. Trust me, friends, we're on it like stink on. Trust me. We will use Mr. Cora, keeping track for you of every last penny that these idiots spent on what they feel is a justified conference. This from a guy who did nothing for the last 2 years, except maybe go from his bedroom to maybe another room, maybe the kitchen to another room, and was on his desktop via Zoom. Maybe he was just waiting for the mask mandate to be dropped on the airlines. I want you to know that no matter what we all talk about, I truly am passionate and I truly mean what I say when I talk about Colorado's agriculture industry. Ag is such a vital part of Colorado's economy, features heavily in our state's history, and the key element of its success is, water. For yet another year, even with our big dump over the weekend, Colorado, most every single county is officially in some sort of designated drought. If the conditions get worse in regions of the state where most of our farms are located, I mean, that's just not good. Now, of course, the Colorado Farm Bureau cannot control the weather. Trust me, if they could, they certainly would let it rain. But when farms dry up, so do rural communities and towns that rely on agriculture to support their economies. That's where the Farm Bureau comes in. They're made up of farmers and ranchers and concerned folks like you and me who want to support them working with ag and finding solutions to its biggest challenges. Join me and help an organization that has been around for 103 years. You can join the Colorado Farm Bureau just like me. Become a member. It's not going to break the bank. But if anything, the folks in Aurora don't care about the optics of going to France. Well, you should care about the optics. At least you can say, you know what? I'm a proud Colorado Farm Bureau member. You can do that. Find out all the details online, coloradofarmbureau.com. That's coloradofarmbureau.com. Of course, if you have any questions, send me an email, or you can most certainly give them a phone call, coloradofarmbureau.com. We're going to talk about the Marcano-Murillo fleecing of the Aurora taxpayer, as well as Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams coming up in just a few minutes to talk about the Republican rumble and why did he have to jump off the stage quickly as he was the master of ceremonies? We'll have that next. This is 710 KNUS.
How is it loading up for us? And we are busy. That drive on I-25 got a crash now. Northbound 25. It is before Santa Fe. Northbound I-25 backing up heavy and slow. The drive from University to Colfax, nearly 25 minutes. Possible crash in the drive, 6th and Federal. I'm Susan Thielen.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
Dennis Prager is not a fan.
I've never called a president a bad name in my 40 years of broadcasting. We have a thug for a president. He's always been a thug. He's the most corrupt president in American history. He's the most dishonest. There has never been a president who so divided his people as Joe Biden.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sebastian Gorka at 1 on News Talk 710, KNUS.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty.
In today's active real estate market, don't pay too much to sell your house. Colorado Flat Fee Realty is now offering a 2% option. If you were selling a $500,000 house, the agent typically charges you 6%. That's $30,000 for just a few days of work. Colorado Flat Fee Realty has a much better way. On that same $500,000 sale, you would save thousands with Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option, why would you list your house with anyone else? Pay less, keep more. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Call 303-300-9660 to find out more. 303-300-9660 or visit coloradoflatfeerealty.com. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. coloradoflatfeerealty.com.
Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Colorado Flat Fee Realty. Pay less, keep more, save thousands.
Hi, Steffan Tubbs for my friends at the Black Eyed Pea. If it has been a while, even though you hear me talk about them all the time, it's totally genuine. I love this restaurant. Based here in Colorado, operated by Mom and Pop, Steve and Michelle. There are 9 Colorado locations, likely one near you. The meatloaf is terrific. The grilled salmon still is my go-to. It is just outstanding. Get it Cajun style or lemon herb. They've got senior discounts and daily specials, of course, military discounts. How about soup and salad or a great burger? They have delicious sides. In fact, more than 30 of them, including the delicious mac and cheese. For dessert, save room for the incredible banana pudding or the 1-pound mile-high chocolate cake. If you're looking for a job, they're still hiring all positions, blackeyedpeacolorado.com. Tell them Steffan sent you. You will love everything about this restaurant like I do. Keep it in Colorado. It's the Black Eyed Pea near you.
Air conditioning season is already here. It's that time of year when temperature swings can change 30 degrees in a single day. Now is the time to call Squeak Services to get your AC ready. Preventive maintenance is the only way to save on costly repairs. And when you call Squeaks, you'll only pay $60 to ensure your AC unit is working at its best and ready for the season. Call, text, or chat with Squeak Services 7 days a week to set an AC maintenance appointment today. Call 303-280-5765 or visit squeaksservices.com.
The future will be amazing, and that's all well and good. But what about today? You can feel the rush of a 400 horsepower Nissan Z, or climb to new heights in the all-terrain Nissan Frontier. Light up the road in the all-electric Nissan Ariya that feels like a sci-fi dream come true. The future will be great, but today is made for thrill. All you have to do is get in a Nissan and drive. 2023 Ariya and Z not yet available for purchase. Expected availability is this spring for 2023 Z and this fall for 2023 Ariya.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Understand from a secret special friend that our friends over at CBS 4, Channel 4, CBS Denver, reporting that Comrade Marcano, with radical candor, and his colleague, Comradette Murillo, may in fact still be in Paris. Now, I got to be honest, I thought that was a quick trip home, and maybe that's one of the reasons why he's simply not. You don't suppose. Comrade, anywhere around the globe with an internet connection, you can listen live stream via the app. Are you listening to us right now, you little mon petit? POS. These people have zero concern for you. They don't care the optics. That's why, even though I got a death threat today over this, literally, not joking, that's why, as my military friends, our veterans, active duty, they've told me for years, hey, some of them talk like that, old salty dogs especially. Hey, well, if you continue getting the flak, maybe you're over the target. You know what? Maybe that's true. But I will not stop. I don't live in Aurora. So today it's a boondoggle trip to Paris for a couple of these morons. Tomorrow, it's some moron on the city council where you live, and they're fleecing you this way or that way. No, none of this surprises me. This goes on all the time and has since we started electing people to anything. Unless you're our next guest, Weld County Sheriff Steve Reams, who is absolutely above the board on everything. We'll get to him in just a second. But I just want to tell you that before the end of the program, tonight at 7, I will have laid out for you everything that I know about this sneaky trip to a stupid Paris conference. They could have at minimum been on Zoom and saved the taxpayer at minimum about $7,000. But they didn't, because they don't care what you think of them. Because at the end of the day, there will be someone like me who makes a huge deal out of it on social media, talks about it on the radio, and calls them on their bull. And then they know that they'll still have people, no matter how many thousands of miles away they are, that will go so far as to say literally via social media, tell me that I better watch out or I will become the next Lee Keltner. Yes, that happened today. And no, after seeing it, I have not edited or stopped talking about it. Get more on that. Well, what the hell happened? This Republican rumble, where a straw poll, Tina Peters gets 88 votes for Secretary of State, 10 more than her closest competitor. The newly formed Colorado Congressional District 8, Barb Kirkmeyer, 62 votes. Lori Sain, 53 votes. For governor, Heidi Ganahl gets 138 over 85 for Greg Lopez. And in the United States Senate, Ron Hanks, 119, Joe O'Dea, 102. You all do realize that neither Tina Peters nor Ron Hanks will win in the general election. You do realize that, correct? By the way, Ron Hanks, I will, sadly, because I really respect his service to our great country, his public service to this state, but I'm going to have to look at him in studio when he's with us on Thursday, and I'm going to keep it civil, but I've got to look at this man in the eyes. You have no chance. And he doesn't. But then what happened with Lori? I'm not insane, sane. who was apparently either she was late in RSVPing, she didn't RSVP, and then used somebody else's ticket, so I'm told. And then, well, the master of ceremonies is our friend, Steve Reams. Brother man, good evening to you. What's going on in Weld County?
Well, it's another beautiful day in Weld County. It's a good day to be the sheriff of Weld County, as always.
Attaboy.
You know, Steffan, I just want to know, how's your campaign going for Denver mayor?
Damn it. You know, Steve, it was that April Fool's joke, but I wish now kind of that's the last time you were on, right? That's it. That's right. You were on, you played us.
Yes,
you played the April Fool's well, so you can blame Reams as well, friends. But I'll tell you what, there are times when I think, you know what, why not roll the dice? But I just don't want to move to Denver. But back to the Republican Rumble at the Grizzly Rose on Saturday. What happened?
Well, it was quite an event. I mean, we had 4 rounds of debate, starting with Secretary of State. The second round was CD8. Then it went to the governor's debate, and then finished up with the U.S. Senate debate. And it seemed like the intensity of each debate kind of increased as the day went on. The crowd got more into it as the day went on, and there were some definite exchanges in some of those debates. The governor's debate definitely got a little heated. I think Heidi Ganahl scored some pretty big points in that particular round, and then the Senate debate was back and forth. Got a little heated as well, but generally speaking, I don't think a lot of minds were changed. The people that came to the event probably already had their mind made up. But these events are important so that people who are looking from the outside can say, hey, I choose this candidate over that candidate based on the way they answers these questions. So it was good.
Yeah. There was an incident with Lori Sane. I'm not trying to pile on, but somebody wrote about it. It's online. What happened there?
Well, there's quite a bit of lead up to the Republican Rumble. A lot of messages have been sent out to all the candidates, and this was even prior to the state assembly. So candidates that thought that were going to make the debate are going to make the ballot and have a chance at the primary. We're told, hey, we're going to have this event, plenty of time to RSVP. If you'd like to attend, if you'd like to participate, please do. And all of the CDA candidates confirmed, said they'd be there, with the exception of Lori Sane, until the Monday before the event. She finally decided, for whatever reason, that she might want to participate. And at that point, it was pretty much too late in the planning process to try to add another person to the stage, from what I understand. Everything was timed out, and it's just one of those situations where she was on the outside looking in, but she decided to show up to the event anyway and try to force her way onto the stage, and it just didn't go very well.
To the point where, I don't want to put words in your mouth, you were there, you either did or didn't. Did you have to get off the stage and try to stop her?
Yeah, so I was the master of ceremonies for all the debates, and I sat off to the side of the stage, and I saw someone approaching the stage. I didn't identify her as Lori Sane right away. As I saw the person walking in, today's world, you got to kind of be paying attention to that.
Oh, yeah.
As I started walking across the stage, it was pretty easy to identify who she was at that point. She raised her hand in the air and started making some kind of statement about accepting the invitation. And it seemed as if she was trying to kind of railroad the process. So I jumped off the stage, redirected her away from the stage, and we kept going. It was kind of a big nothing as far as I'm concerned. I don't think the people who were online watching would have even known that occurred. The people inside the event center didn't seem to be too enamored with the actions, but just an annoyance if nothing else.
Yeah, well, at least the guy that had his eyes on things, because today you never know, and I'm not saying that Lori Sane had any ill will intentions to storm the stage or whatever, but I mean, I can't remember if you were at the Republican Assembly several weeks ago. Were you down there?
No, I didn't go to the Republican Assembly because they made it a gun-free zone. And, obviously with my stance in law enforcement, that's an event that I decided not to take part in the state assembly. But, for that same note, this was not a gun-free zone. And You want to make sure that you provide proper security.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that was my reason for being master of ceremonies. And obviously we were ready for whatever might happen.
hmm Steve Ream, Sheriff of Weld County, just a couple more seconds with him, but I'm glad that it wasn't, any bigger of a deal. But, you mentioned this gun-free zone last week we talked about, and we were maybe a day or two behind simply because of so much other stuff to talk about. But, Denver City Council and its infinite ridiculous wisdom, you probably heard, and I know that you're up there and you're not a Denver citizen and resident, et cetera, but just speak in generalities. Now you are looking at all government buildings within the city and county, gun-free zones, and all parks. No concealed carry or whatever. Just from your stance on 2A, et cetera, how do you kind of process all of that?
Well, I can tell you if I lived in Denver, I'd be very worried because there's not too many places in Denver I'd want to go without carrying, especially one of the public parks. But what's more concerning is that when municipalities or jurisdictions across the state start having different types of gun laws, you can unwittingly become a criminal by crossing one jurisdictional boundary to another. These are poorly thought out attempts at trying to reduce violence. And what we know is that, criminals don't follow gun laws, so you can write all of them you want.
Yep.
And it's not going to do any good at reducing violence. It's as embarrassing as it was to see the debacle that came out of the Republican rumble with people trying to rush the stage.
Yeah. And finally, on another topic, because it's just on my laundry list, not sure if you saw the governor over the weekend proudly touting that according to a Wallet Hub survey, the 2022 best and worst states to become a cop, let's also say cop / sheriff's deputy / sheriff / law enforcement, that Colorado's number 9. And I find it just so ridiculously ironic that the same people less than 24 months ago who either said nothing or wanted to defund the police, now this past weekend, they tout that this state is number 9. Would you concur with our position in the Wallet Hub survey?
No, I think whoever conducted that survey is that survey is complete crap. You talk to any law enforcement officer and they'll tell you Colorado is probably the least law enforcement friendly state if you want to have a career here. And it's not because of the people that live in the state of Colorado necessarily. It's the legislators and it's the laws that they've passed. I think that poll was solely based on what it looks like for income provided to those different officers. But if your income is at risk with every encounter, it doesn't necessarily tell officers that Colorado's a friendly state to operate in. That survey's crap.
Yeah, they do it. The categories: opportunity and competition, law enforcement training requirements, and job hazards and protections. I mean, I couldn't say it better. The survey is crap. It's crap.
There's plenty of opportunities in Colorado because every good cop that can is leaving. So yeah, there's plenty of opportunities to come become a cop in Colorado. But it's because of what the legislature has done. That survey is junk.
Who loves you, baby? Thank you, Steve. Always a pleasure to have you on the program. And I'll get back with you on now my re-announcement. I'm going to run for Denver mayor.
Sounds good, Steffan.
See you, brother. Thank you. Sheriff of Weld County, Steve Reams. Why do I love him? Well, many reasons, but he tells you the truth. Thank you, Steve. Don't turn to credit cards to pay for necessities as, say, the prices rise. Just don't. You want to be out of debt as best you can. If you are a homeowner, you need cash, call my friends at the Town Group, especially if you're a business owner with large write-offs, self-employed, maybe you have no W-2s. Give Melissa at the Town Group just 5 minutes to hear your story. And you know what? She can maybe, because of the equity you have built, maybe get you into a loan. At the Town Group, they specialize in jumbo loans for the self-employed. The silver lining with the skyrocketing home values, especially in our own backyard, is that maybe now you can unlock equity in your home that maybe you've not had access to before. If other lenders have said no, think the Town Group. If you've got the income to buy but limited down payment, call Melissa. Give her just 5 minutes to hear your story. Call the Town Group before you get priced out of the market. It's 833-MY-JUMBO. That's 833 my jumbo or online towngroupmortgage.com. When we come back, a little bit on the junket to Gay Paris. And have you ever been so mad at a drive-through because either you had to wait too long or they screwed up your order or both, that you decided, you know what I'm going to do? Maybe against my better judgment, I'm going to block the drive-through for a long time. Like a long time. Well, it happened. We'll give you that story coming up next.
News Talk 710. Update.
Tonight's Aurora City Council meeting could get heated. Mayor Mike Kaufman says a couple of council members went to a conference in Paris at taxpayer expense. He calls it an insult to the hardworking taxpayers in the city. The NTSB continues its probe into the weekend plane crash. That one in Broomfield killed 2 people. They have heard from a person on the ground who says the plane's engine was making some abnormal noises. Infants and toddlers may soon be able to receive COVID vaccines. An FDA panel will review data on Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for children next month, potentially setting up for an authorization this summer. The Avalanche hope to take a commanding lead in the round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. That will be tonight as they face the St. Louis Blues. This report sponsored by Done Right. If you're going to do it right or don't bother. Call Done Right for kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, and even replacement windows and doors. 800-362-8370 or drhi.com. Jeff Hildebrandt, News Talk 710.
Heavy traffic along I-25. We have some problems. Northbound I-25 just before Santa Fe. That's a crash. Now that drive from University to Colfax, at least 20 minutes. Tech Center stall southbound 25 before Orchard in the center lane. And now a crash eastbound C470 University. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
There will be a lingering shower or two tonight, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well. It'll be cool, lows in the lower 40s. A cloudy, cool day on Tuesday. Temperatures will probably only be in the middle to upper 50s, and Tuesday's going to bring a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms through late Tuesday evening. Then clearing, warmer, back to near 70 on Wednesday, warmer Thursday. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
Thinking of selling your home? Do you want to net the most money? What if you could eliminate your top selling expense? Hi, George Brockler here, and I guarantee that you will net the most money with my friend, realtor Gay Ribble, the Ribble Group Keller Williams Realty DTC through her zero commission program. This program is designed to guarantee that you net the most money by having the buyer pay, wait for it, all the commission. The Phillips family thought this was too good to be true until they called Gay Ribble. Within one day, they were under contract for $16,000 more than a previous realtor had told them they could get, and the buyer paid all the commission. The Ribble Group's zero commission program makes it easy, matching your home to one of their buyers who, again, will pay all the commission. To learn more about the zero commission program, call the Ribble Group at 833-301-SOLD. That's 833-301-SOLD, or visit Gay, spelled Gaye, hasthebuyers.com. That's gayhasthebuyers.com.
Dr. Tim Watt here with Synergenics Denver. Our goal is better health for you. Aging doesn't have to be hard. Getting older can be the best and most rewarding time of your entire life. At Synergenics, we use advanced testing and diagnostics to help uncover how to be a healthier you. The key to health isn't treating symptom after symptom. It's finding out why those symptoms are happening and then stopping them for good. Your quality of life is directly linked to your specific risk factors. Our program is dedicated to keeping those factors as low as possible while increasing your energy, your performance, and your overall well-being. We start with comprehensive testing, followed by prescribing precision medicines that address your specific health needs. We create a program designed specifically for you to help you focus, become stronger, and feel in control of your life again. Call Synergenics today. Our number is 720-387-3681, or visit our website at denver.synergenics.com. That's denver.synergenics.com.
Hi, it's Steffan Tubbs. Make a plan and join us for the American Veterans Show. Every Sunday, we highlight incredible stories from around the country and here in Colorado. It is an honor to profile veterans, active duty, and military-related charities every single week. The American Veterans Show, part history lesson, always done with appreciation. Get a dose of patriotism. We hope you'll join us.
The American Veterans Show with Steffan Tubbs, Sundays at noon on News Talk 710. Now, back to Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Pay the bill for me to go to this conference? Sign me up. Well, that's pretty much what happened, of course, with Radical Candor.
So I do believe in radical candor. And I'm sorry, I think you might need to do some soul searching, because I do believe, honest to God, that the Republican Party is a sadistic death cult. It is the most dangerous organization that has ever existed.
Wow. Well, honest to God, I think you are fleecing the Aurora taxpayer like we haven't seen Juan Marcano in many, many moons. Oh, by the way, even if it was completely legit, with heavy air quotes and sarcasm, do you people care the optics? Now, again, I got word that I thought they were back, and that's one of the reasons why after nearly 100 tweets over the weekend, I called him out, shaming and guilting. And then all of a sudden the tweet stopped. Well, I didn't want to get too big of a head. I'm like, wow, Tubbs, you really made an impact. Or, as I'm always realistic, maybe it's because he's been flying. Although I have a feeling that they certainly wouldn't mind charging the Aurora taxpayer for, say, I don't know, internet while flying. But now CBS Denver is reporting that they may still be in Paris. Mr. Marcano, along with, yeah, there really is a Mrs. Marcano, God heaven help her, and the silent one, No Show Murillo is how she's been described to me, Crystal Murillo. Yeah, they decided to go to France. Freaking France. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman calling them out today. I love it because we broke this story over the weekend, and now all kinds of people are scrambling, trying to get the comrade and comradette to comment. There is, within the next 60 minutes, an Aurora City Council meeting set to begin. Will anyone have the guts? Any of you? And that goes for our friends, Zvonik, Jurinsky, Sundberg, Bergen. Will any of you have the guts? Come on. We're pulling for you. Will any of you have the guts to at least bring it up? Because it doesn't matter if at the end of the Cora request that I will absolutely file, who knew about it? The mayor didn't know about it, and I can tell you this as fact. At minimum, the full city council had no idea that these two buffoons were going to go on the Aurora taxpayer dime, submit their receipts whenever the hell they come back, and expect and likely get reimbursed to the penny. And let's face it, you ever done an expense report? You ever fudged it? You ever had a dinner with somebody that really only you and God know doesn't even exist? I'm just saying. Turtle Day, Harvey Milk, Tina Peters, World War III trending. It's all part of our 6 o'clock hour. Don't go anywhere.
The Western Conservative Summit is one of the largest annual gatherings of conservatives in the Western United States. I'm Jeff Hunt. Join us June 3rd and 4th at the Gaylord Rockies Resort in Denver, Colorado.
This year's summit features former Trump press secretaries Kayleigh McEnany, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and just added Betsy DeVos, Matt Walsh, and Tulsi Gabbard. Get tickets today at 710knus.com.
We'll see you at the summit.
Before Bamboo HR, I feel like crying just thinking about it.
We were still handling everything via paper, and we literally had paper stacked. It was all in spreadsheets and like folders. From the moment I started using it, I felt calmer.
As soon as we started using the Bamboo like onboarding checklist, I mean, it was extremely easy.
Headcount, turnover, years of service. Like there's just so many different reports that I use at different points in time.
I'm like totally set free to focus on the people, to focus on development, to focus on team dynamics.
It's freeing me up to do more of the stuff that actually matters in HR, which is interacting with people, learning from them, and then building stuff for them.
Everything is in this one place. I can't even imagine what it would be like without Bamboo HR.
We're Bamboo HR, and we'd love to set you free to do great work. Come try our award-winning all-in-one HR software for free with no strings attached. Visit bamboohr.com/HR for this free trial offer. That's bamboohr.com/HR.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne.
And I'm Danica Bourne.
And we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-3156 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all of the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-3156, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-3156.
Hi, I'm Dave Bancroft, president of Veteran Windows and Doors. We are a veteran-owned, Denver-based window and door company founded on Marine Corps values of integrity, knowledge, and dependability. Offering the same high-end products as the national companies, we take an educational approach to increasing the comfort and value of your home without high-pressure sales and markups. Call today for a free in-home consultation at 303-529-0720 or visit us at veteranwindowsdoors.com. We look forward to working with you.
KNUS Denver, a Salem Media Group station. News Talk 710, the official station of the 2022 Western Conservative Summit. Get tickets online at 710knus.com.
How is it slowing down? It's a busy drive here. Got some rain showers starting to come down out west. C470 near Bowles. Some wet conditions. A crash working on the highway right now. North on I-25. It is up near Santa Fe. 20 minutes from University up into downtown. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Denver's local talk leader. News Talk 710 KNUS. The news now.
It's 59 degrees in Denver, going down to about 39 degrees tonight. The 7-10 5-day forecast coming up. Well, our top story, as expected, Governor Polis signed the Colorado cashback bill today. It sends $500 back into the pockets of Colorado taxpayers, and you should get it by September. This report being sponsored by Mattress Firm. Suffering from junk sleep? Mattress Firm can help. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $500 off during the best Memorial Day sale ever. Well, the U.S. Defense Secretary says Russia's invasion of Ukraine has spurred countries around the world to take action. Lloyd Austin stresses that the U.S. will keep doing everything possible to help Ukraine, but said how it ends is up to the people of Ukraine. At least 100,000 migrants are allegedly waiting to cross the Rio Grande River into the U.S. The Border Patrol says most of those migrants are involved in the cartels because they aren't using points of entry to come into the states. And a potentially hazardous asteroid racing past Earth this week. It measures just over a mile long, but there's really no reason to worry. It'll be about 2.5 million miles away when it passes. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrials gained 618 points. The S&P rose 72, and NASDAQ was up 180. Wake up with George Brockler, weekday mornings from 6 to 10, right here on KNUS.
There will be a lingering shower or two tonight, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well. It'll be cool, lows in the lower 40s. A cloudy, cool day on Tuesday. Temperatures will probably only be in the middle to upper 50s, and Tuesday's going to bring a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms through late Tuesday evening. Then clearing, warmer, back to near 70 on Wednesday, warmer Thursday. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
A longtime newsman with an opinion, a proud dad, an American, supporter of our veterans and active duty military. Common sense discussion begins now. This is the Steffan Tubbs Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
Thing that we've been discussing today, which is, I got to tell you, about 4 days worth of material. And we've only been on the air now into our 4th hour. We got a lot under our belts in 3 hours. Welcome to those of you maybe just joining us. Thank you. I know you got a lot of listening options out there. Welcome to those of you. I feel like I've ignored you today. I'm sorry. To our friends on YouTube. Mom. Sis, old neighbor, dear friend, thank you for joining us. We are simulcast. It is a habit now, every day. 710 KNUS YouTube channel. Sign up there and subscribe. You don't have to give us any credit card information or anything like that. It is one hell of a Monday. This is the type I was itching to get on the air today. Like, just there's so much to go over. Let me just go over in no particular order the list, and then we'll get into it if you are just joining us especially. The Aurora French Boondoggle. It's our Music Monday. We've had some French music. This one you know. Le'Veon Rose. Why? Because, well, they may not be lovers, but they're enjoying the City of Lights and its surrounding areas for a conference. Comrade Juan Marcano of your Aurora City Council, you know, with radical candor, he feels like if you're a conservative, you're a member of a sadistic death cult. His comradette, his travel partner, she's almost as bad as Michael Bennett, the silent workhorse, the silent senator. Apparently, she's been described as no-show Mario because she never goes to the meetings. I mean, why do you expect an elected official to go to a city council meeting when, they've got to work? I mean, at least she has a job. Marcano, friends, you do realize Marcano doesn't even have a job. You do realize that, right? His job is his position. Want to thank one of his fans in the old, Juan Marcano circle, who sent me a death threat today on social media. Hand to God. I'm looking right in the camera and I'm telling you, hand to God. It was basically, and I'm not joking because, well, we say his name on this program, Lee Keltner, but Lee Keltner's name was invoked today and told me via social media, the appropriate authorities have been notified. IP addresses too. That's a bitch. That's a real bitch for people sending death threats. But it was basically, if I don't watch out, I'm going to go the way of Lee Keltner. Oh, the chilling effect that has had. I guess I shouldn't talk anymore about the boondoggle of a French trip by comrade and comradette. These people, as I mentioned last hour, I like it. I'm going to use it again. They were afraid of their own shadow during the pandemic. Translation, they did everything by Zoom. I would imagine, and shockingly, not only does Marcano not have a job, I couldn't believe he's actually married. I mean, this kind of joker is the kind that would, like, Zoom his wife in the other room to say goodnight. But what? Did somebody say Paris? No, that's Paris, California. No, I know that's Perris. Wait, Paris, Texas? Paris, France? I've never been there. And I can sign up for this conference and the Aurora taxpayer will pick it up? Let's do it. Hey, Silent Mario! No Show Mario, do you want to go with me? Yes! What makes it even worse is we got to be negative on this International/World Turtle Day. I mean, if we didn't have so much drama out of Aurora, we could have done the entire hour because we love variety on the program. We could have talked about turtles. Save the turtles, especially the baby ones. So freaking cute. But no, comrade and comradette have to go and take their little jaunt across the pond to Paris. What I find funny, and again, CBS Denver is reporting that the comrade and comradette, they're still bilking the Aurora taxpayer. A trip, by the way, that Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman didn't know about. A trip that the majority of their own colleagues on city council had no idea about. CBS Denver is reporting that the comrade and comradette are still in France. Now, not to, boost my own ego, but we broke this story yesterday or Saturday night. I'm proud of that. I'm proud that Mayor Kaufman said something this morning on social media because otherwise it had been crickets from him. They may be scared of going out in a pandemic and do everything on Zoom. Kaufman, with all due respect, Mayor, you seem scared to death of these socialists on your city council. But he came out and said something, and I commend Mike Kaufman for that. But friends, they don't care. They don't care the optics. They don't care if it takes you listening to them on social media or whatever. They don't care, though. They don't care if you don't buy their justification. They don't care. I hope they care enough to save a whole bunch of receipts because their ass is about to get Cora'd by my ass. We're going to go through Mr. Cora. So I would say to Jim Twombly, the city manager in the great city of Aurora, did you know about this? Because I'm going to Cora your ass as well. Colorado Open Records Act. Now, I also always tell you the truth, and I always keep it straight with you. Let me tell you briefly, in case you don't know, many of you do, how Cora works. I will send a letter, a formal letter to various entities. I am requesting under Colorado statute, blah, 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 that you, and by the way, they supposedly, unless there are extenuating circumstances, they must respond within 72 hours. With my book, They Said, I used Cora quite a bit. Let's just say, well, Matt, would you just maybe role play with me for a moment? Come to the microphone if you would. I know this is unscripted. Um, Say you're somebody within the city of Aurora. Mr. Steinkruger, I just want you to know that Stephen Tubes here. I am requesting all of these documents, any emails, any receipts. I want to know. I want to get to the bottom of it. Mr. Steinkruger, do you understand that you have 72 hours to respond to my Cora request? And you would say,
Yes.
yes. Okay, good. So far, so good with role playing. Let's say it's now 99 hours and 22 minutes after my initial request. You only had 72 hours. Do you know what you could tell me? You could say something along the lines of, well, this is just taking us a whole lot of time. And so you could say something to me and we'll get back to you when we get back to you.
Well, this is just taking a whole lot of time. We'll get back to you when we get back to you.
I appreciate that. Now, according to statute that used to be on the books, Mr. Steinkruger at the city of Aurora could be fined. And I think it was something ridiculous. It was like $10. Not kidding. Then old Governor Hickenlooper signed a change calling for a cooling off period. We don't want to get too crazy and we don't want to have any mistakes. So you need to give us just a little bit more time. Now, I said this earlier in the program for the benefit of you that may be just joining us and you care about how Cora works, the Colorado Open Records Act. Technically, they have 72 hours. Maybe it's a little longer if there are extenuating circumstances. When I Cora'd the Adams County Sheriff's Office for my book, They Said, it was more than 40 working days. Do you know the ramifications that the Adams County Sheriff's Office faced because they eventually cooperated with most? Bupkis, zero. There are no ramifications if you don't cooperate. I also said this earlier. If Matt on his city-issued laptop, that kind of sounds familiar, Robin Nisetta. But anyway, Matt has, say, a file of 50 pages that if I, as an outside journalist, got a hold of, Matt, you are going down, your secretary's going down, your kids aren't going to be happy that you're in the news, et cetera, et cetera.
No bueno.
No bueno. I don't know how you'd say that in French, but it doesn't matter. There's no bueno. So Matt has a file of 50 pages. And pages 32 and 33 absolutely catch him red-handed. Well, under the Colorado Open Records Act, he's supposed to turn over that entire file of 50 pages, right? Then have somebody inquisitive like me in my business see pages 32 and 33. With no ramifications, with no threats of losing his job, what can Matt do working for the city with the fictitious file of 50 pages? Matt gives me pages 1 through 31 and 34 through 50. Now, if I was worth my salt, I'd go, I noticed that, Matt, pages 32 and 33 are missing. Oh, yeah, there was a problem with the record keeping and my printer ran out. Now we don't have that information available. You tell me how you prove that. Do you see what I'm saying here overall? You can request anything. If Marcano doesn't want me to see something, then I won't. He faces zero repercussions. Neither does No Show Murillo. That's one of the reasons why I am making a big deal out of it. And the other thing is, and again, I have been accused, it's weird. I have been accused, maybe it's just because it's accurate. Over the last couple of weeks, we've had not only an angry caller who said there are better shows than this one. I guarantee you, though, you're listening right now, Archie, because you can't quit me. I've been accused a couple of times from different people of being obsessed with an issue, like I sink my teeth into the issue. Guilty as charged, Your Honor. And just by chance, if you're one of our great listeners, I've talked about this probably half a dozen times since 3:00. Now, one of the reasons, a method to my madness, is people in radio come and go. Look at how you may use it. Maybe you tune in before you get the kids. You listen for 10 minutes. Maybe you get home. Maybe 2 hours, 42 seconds later, 42 minutes later, you tune in again. But I'm telling you right now, if you think that this is overkill, well, so what? 2 council members. This happens all the time. First of all, I think that is really sad. If that's how you feel, that it's not that big of a deal, that, well, politicians have been screwing people over for generations. What else is new? All I'm saying with this story is, once again, as I always say, it's like my safety net for almost everything. You may not care about Denver in decay. Why? You never go downtown Denver. You haven't been to Denver in 17 years, and you've lived your entire life within a 25-mile radius of downtown Denver. Well, as I say with that issue, you may not care about Denver, but what about, as we have seen with Denver in decay, slowly creeping to the suburbs? Oh, now you care. And I get it. Of course, you should. But today it's the Aurora City Council screwing over the taxpayer, whether it's a legitimate trip or not. And I say again, legitimate in air quotes. But tomorrow it's pick a town, pick a city, your town council, the county commissioners, your city council. If anything, I hope that those of you who put these idiots in office, you at least keep track of what they're doing, and most importantly, how they are spending your taxpayer dollars. And at minimum, bare minimum, Marcano and Murillo's trip to France cost the city taxpayer in Aurora at minimum $7,000. There is also the principle, the optics. You mean to tell me you're so proud of your international trip, you don't tell everybody ahead of time, including your opposition? Rub it in. Tell Jurinski, I am going to miss the Monday, May 23rd meeting. Jurinski says, oh, really? Why, Juan? This is all fictitious, but why, Juan? Council member Murillo and I will be at the International Planning Something That Really Doesn't Matter conference in Paris. I mean, do these idiots think that nobody's going to find out? Once again, back to the weekend when we broke this story. This joker had tweeted nearly 100 times over about a 36-hour period. When I called him out on social media, do you want to know exactly how many more tweets came out of Gay Paris? 0. I said this earlier in the program. I never got a big head. While I thought, yeah, I could have thought, oh boy, the power of the Steffan Tubbs show and my social media reach. I showed him. No, then I tried to use some logic. He probably stopped tweeting because he was on an international flight home. But again, now, and I have no way to prove it, it's not as if, old comrade and I text back and forth. This is almost like a where's Waldo? Where's Marcano? Right now as we speak. I guess, Matt, in 10 minutes when this city council meeting opens, we can see if he is in attendance. How about for those of you that live in the city of Aurora, and some of you, I'm not saying you don't have a life, but you have watched 95% or more of every city council meeting, whether it's that local Channel 8 or online or whatever. Ask yourself this question. Since the spring of 2020, how many city council meetings has the comrade joined via Zoom? I would say 97%, if not higher. Then why couldn't you do that for your conference?
Oh, well, they didn't have the technology to do so. And the only way to do it
was to be there in person. You mean to tell me? And he's still trying now on social media today. He is trying to justify his trip, not only with the nearly 100 tweets, but now he's announced that coming up on June 2nd, location to be determined. He's gonna explain to his constituents how important this conference was. Again, today, Aurora, tomorrow, where you live. And if you don't care about them wasting your money, then I'm simply wasting your time. But maybe I can keep you listening because World War III was trending because of this little exchange.
You didn't want to get involved in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
You are.
That's the commitment we made. That's the commitment we made. We are not, look, here's the situation. We agree with a one China policy. We signed on to it and all the attendant agreements made from there. But the idea that it can be taken by force, just taken by force, is just not appropriate. It will dislocate the entire region and be another action similar to what happened in Ukraine. And so it's a burden that is even stronger.
President Biden made international headlines when answering a question from CBS News' Nancy Cordes about what would happen if China invades Taiwan.
Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes, that's the commitment we made. Here's the situation. We agree with a one China policy. We signed on to it and all the attendant agreements made from there. But the idea that it can be taken by force is just not appropriate.
Under the One China policy, America recognizes and has formal ties to mainland China, but does not endorse Beijing's position that Taiwan should be governed by China.
And then there's the economy. Driving to work today for the first time in the city of Aurora, I saw a 5 in front of the decimal point. $5.35 for a gallon of diesel. I hope your attitude is, well, thank God I don't drive a diesel. I hope you see where things are going as we head into that AAA driving season. I did forget, Matt, so you got to keep me honest. The dude who was so pissed off at his McDonald's drive-thru and the service there, how pissed off was he? He decided to do a very bad thing and kind of like not fair to his fellow drive-thru McDonald's customers. We will talk about that story coming up. In fact, because we got to take a break, it'll be the first out of the break. So we'll do that. There's monkeypox. What? Monkeypox is now the latest. And I know some of you may be more conspiracy theory kind of people than me. It's just the next thing. Well, and coming up in our next segment as well, I want to get into why Ron Hanks and Tina Peters have about as good a chance of, I don't know, throwing a no-hitter at the next Rockies game as to winning their primaries, or excuse me, the general. They'll probably win the primaries. So we'll talk about that. Tina Peters this past weekend. It was cute. Not only one time, flat out freaking reading her statement. Then at the end of her appearance with Jimmy Sangenberger on Saturday morning, in studio, by the way, kudos to Peters for that, she reads off of one of her handler's cell phones. The audio coming up in our next segment, see if you can tell when she's actually reading. And she even tries to direct the way Jimmy interviewed. We'll have that all straight ahead. Friends, if you're dreaming of an expense-paid trip to Paris, well, good luck. But if you have always wanted to see Paris, one of the greatest cities on the planet, after those lockdowns and COVID uncertainty, get with the team that I have trusted for more than 15 years for leisure and business travel, my friends at Highlands Ranch Travel. They may not be able to, in your price range, say, put you up at the nicest hotels like Juan Marcano, but if money is the only object, well, they're going to work with you on your budgets. Trust the pros at Highlands Ranch Travel. If you're like me, go old school. I like to see brochures. Tell me where to go to get that Paris crepe. You can see all kinds of stuff. Go to the Louvre. There we go. Go to the Louvre, see the Eiffel Tower. Such a great place. Highlands Ranch Travel can help, or they can also help if you want to just say get away for a weekend to Phoenix. Highlands Ranch Travel, they'll discuss your dream vacations with you. Yeah, they realize you can do everything online, but why not meet with them or at least consult with them on the phone, and maybe they can give you an experience like you've never had before. 24-hour assistance while you're on the road. Stop dreaming, start traveling, and start packing. HRTVL.com. That's HRTVL.com. I should have taken French. I know Spanish numbers. 303-791-2311. 303-791-2311. Tell them Steffan sent you. It's HRTVL.com. They'd love to meet you in person and get you to Paris.
Scattered rain showers for the drive. Areas out to the west. If you're traveling down south, there are some wet roads to deal with. Now, the highways were slowing down. It is busy. We've had some trouble on I-25. Latest northbound I-25 at Santa Fe. The right cleared. Running crowded from the Washington Bridge into downtown. I'm Susan Phelan.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
Hugh Hewitt isn't bullish on our economic future.
It's a headache for every business owner and wage earner and those people who will be laid off, because we're in the middle of soaring inflation, and a recession on top of that means job layoffs, business contraction. It's cyclical. It's not the end of the world. It's not the Great Depression. It's not a panic. It's a slowing down of economic activity that means more people are out of work.
The Hugh Hewitt Show, weeknights at 10 on News Talk 710, KNUS.
Dr. Julie McCallan here with Synergenics Denver. Our goal is better health for you. Aging doesn't have to be so hard. Getting older can be some of the best and most rewarding time of your entire life. At Synergenics, we use advanced testing and diagnostics to help uncover how to be a healthier you. The key to health isn't treating symptom after symptom. It's finding out why those symptoms are happening and what can be done to stop them for good. Your quality of life is directly linked to your specific risks. Our program is dedicated to keeping those risks as low as possible while increasing your energy, performance, and overall well-being. We start with comprehensive testing, followed by the prescription of precision medicines that address your specific health needs. We create a program designed specifically for you to help you focus, become stronger, and feel again in control of your life. Call Synergenics today. Our number is 720-387-3681, or visit our website at denver.synergenics.com. That's denver.synergenics.com.
Radical abortion bills, record drug overdoses, skyrocketing crime, wildfires, and wolves. Oh my. What are we to do? Join Jeff Hunt, director of the Centennial Institute at Colorado Christian University, for Centennial Institute's Frontier Freedom Hour, Sunday afternoons at 1. As a leading Colorado conservative, Jeff will address issues impacting our culture from a biblical perspective. Tune in to Frontier Freedom Hour, Sundays at 1 p.m. on 710 KNUS.
Hey, it's George Brock with 710 KNUS. For a business owner like me, it's always tax season. The Employee Retention Credit is a great way to pay down back taxes or to receive your credit from the IRS via check. The taxpayer advocates, and they are advocates, at El Dorado Tax Solutions offer real-world solutions, not empty promises like so many do. This boutique firm can help stop bank levies and garnishments. Call El Dorado Tax Solutions at 720-769-7433 to see if you qualify for ERC credits and or to discuss your tax liability. That's El Dorado Tax Solutions at eldoradotaxsolutions.com.
Hi, it's Steffan Tubbs. Make a plan and join us for the American Veteran Show. Every Sunday, we highlight incredible stories from around the country and here in Colorado. It is an honor to profile veterans, active duty, and military-related charities every single week. The American Veteran Show, part history lesson, always done with appreciation. Get a dose of patriotism. We hope you'll join us.
The American Veteran Show with Steffan Tubbs, Sundays at noon on News Talk 710. KNUS.
It's easy and profitable to be kind to others when you enter the Kindness Challenge. Each day for 30 days, we'll post a new act of kindness that you can do for others. On June 1st, you could win $5,000, and a deserving organization will also receive $5,000 in your name. You can make a difference in others' lives when you enter the Kindness Challenge.
The Kindness Challenge is brought to you in part by The Garage in Inglewood and Parker, home of the KNUS $99 oil change.
News Talk 710, KNUS.
Listen live on Odyssey.
Colorado Cashback coming just in time for Christmas. The story on KNUS.
Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Music Monday. French style.
Elle est à toi cette chanson, toi l'Auvergnat qui sans façon.
All right, before we get to the McDonald's story, I've got to tell you, it's kind of, this is mini baby itsy bitsy breaking news. The Aurora City Council meeting has just been gavelled into session, and guess who is on Zoom? You cannot make this up.
So I do believe in radical candor. And I'm sorry, I think you might need to do some soul searching, because I do believe, honest to God, that the Republican Party is a sadistic death cult. It is the most dangerous organization that has ever existed.
Now, the question would be, is he on Zoom from his home and his cat is doing like figure eights between his legs? Or is he Zoom International? Let's go there live. I don't know what they're talking about. Let's see what they're doing. Whoa, we went from Paris to Mexico City. She talks fast. You're listening live to the Aurora City Council. This is like an entirely different show topic. We live in the United States of America. Why do we have bilingual? I'm sorry, if you don't understand the language, I'm sure this is racist. No. We speak English here.
Present. Councilmember Gardner.
Listen up, please.
Councilmember Durinsky. Here. Councilmember Lawson. Here. Councilmember Marcano. Councilmember Medina.
Oh, was there a delay because of the international feed?
Present. Councilmember Sundberg.
Here.
And Councilmember Zvonek.
Here.
There's a quorum.
Was no show Murillo there?
Invocation. Please assume an attitude of prayer.
All right, we will dip out of that. There's no disrespect for prayer or the pledge, but I mean, we only have so many minutes left in this program. Our final 30 minutes together. Where's Waldo? Where's?
So I do believe in radical candor.
Yeah, where are you joining us from? Juan? Put on our show notes, Matt, if you don't mind. Coming up, I don't know if it probably won't be tomorrow. Let's have that topic come up. Why did I just hear and you heard? Why did we just hear Spanish? Well, that's because so many people speak Spanish. This is the United States. This is a Colorado City's city council meeting. I'm sorry, we do not cater to those of you who do not understand English. Sorry, not sorry. Why do I say this with 100% certainty? Even on a day that I got a death threat, said that if I don't watch it, I'm going to end up like Lee Keltner. Because if I lived in Guadalajara, Ecuador, Nicaragua, Brazil, Mexico City, Tijuana, I wouldn't expect them to speak English. That's on me to understand what they're speaking in the language of their country, which would be that would be some variation of Spanish. Let's talk about that some other day. Dateline somewhere in, well, the UK.
To all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Now, have you ever been so pissed off? Like I've told you, I am addicted to Diet Coke from McDonald's. I will go through the drive-thru. I just want just give me $1, any size. Are you out of your mind? $1? Give me a large Diet Coke, please. And half the time will that complete your order? Yes, that's all I want. Your fries on occasion are awesome. But is there anything more frustrating in a first world that we love our drive-thrus? I say it's happened on my way to work. I go to my McDonald's that I always go to, and I'll pull out of the parking lot and put the straw in as I'm driving. I'm dying of thirst. I want my Diet Coke. Ugh, it's regular Coke. What am I going to do? Go down to the next light, flip a Yui, or make an illegal U-turn, go back through, go to the mic. Yeah, can I help you, please? Yeah, I just came through and you guys gave me I got the wrong order. What do you mean? What did you ask for? Never mind. It's frustrating in a first world kind of way. But I would never think of doing what this guy did. Dateline UK. Headline, McDonald's customer blocks drive-thru for 2 hours over McMuffin. Well, this says row, which means, if you're in the UK, a kind of like a fight, argument. There was a 2-hour standoff. The guy wouldn't move. He was pissed about his sausage and egg McMuffins. No, not a Big Mac. The guy's 55 years old, a grown-ass man. Even if he were a teen, it's still bad. He refused to move his vehicle from the drive-thru window after he said staff asked him to wait in the parking lot for his 2 double sausage and egg McMuffins. He had previously complained where he had to wait 15 minutes for his food in the parking lot. He said occasionally he'd been so frustrated he thought of it, but in this particular case, just yesterday, he said, forget it, I ain't moving my vehicle. They tried to get him to move. Let us give you a refund. He claimed an employee threw his money onto his car roof and warned him to leave or she would call the police. The guy certainly talked a big game. He said as he blocked the drive-thru at McDonald's in the UK for a whopping 2 hours, I shouldn't say whopping because that's like Burger King, a whopper. This is a whopper of a story. He threatened them. He says, I'm going to stay here all week. And then the police came. He said, quote, I'm not moving. I'm well within my rights asking for a refund to be put back on my credit card. They eventually gave him a refund and tried passing him a long letter they'd typed out, but he refused to accept. I hope that the son wasn't in the car, but he said he got there about 9:30 yesterday morning, ordered his regular 2 sausage and egg McMuffins for his son and a friend. I hope they weren't in the car. Could you imagine that? Dad, it's okay. No, it's the bloody principle. Oh boy.
To all beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Oh, and then did I mention there's Hinckley High School also in Aurora, Dateline Aurora. It's like, this is the beauty of being live and local. Hinckley High School having to change its name. We'll wrap up our program with that coming up next. Let's see. We're like a third world country celebrating our saviors are flying in baby formula. That's gross. Monkeypox is something apparently we should be thinking about. The president got World War III trending on social today because he says we'll fight if China invades Taiwan. That's reassuring. The governor over the weekend touting that, hey, it's fine. We're number 9, according to Wallet Hub, is the best place for cops to work. I think some cops I know would most certainly disagree. There was the Republican rumble.
We haven't had a presidential
Listen to
primary
this.
in 20 years.
Tina Peters.
So that added another election for us.
Jimmy Sangenberger
so 4
show.
elections in
Saturday.
12 months.
But when did you turn off cameras previous to May?
I'd have to look back in the.
Okay,
but I have.
I'd be curious.
I've
be curious to know that.
Yeah,
because
I've
my
turned them on.
understanding is they were not. But if there were, I'd love to know a date.
You bet.
And then I'd be happy to clarify that.
Sure.
So we can talk about that because the timing of it before you, according to the indictment, had Gerald Wood recruited to go through a background check, and then after going through the background check, go get his access card. And
wait a minute, we were going to talk about why I'm the best to be the Secretary of State.
Well,
oh, really? We'll go ahead and fade there, and you won't get your website on either, Tina. Well, wait a minute. I don't want to talk about that. I thought we were going to talk about why I'd be the best Secretary of State. You can tout all you want, Tina Peters, that you're going to win the primary. like you did the straw poll at the Republican Rumble at the Rose. Credit where credit is due. That was Jeff Hildebrand who came up with that. Should have been the 3 R's. Republican Rumble at the Rose. It wasn't. If there is one state that can screw it up, a red wave potentially in November, it's Colorado. Tina Peters went on. We don't have time. Just trust me on this. She read statements. No better than Jen Psaki. No better than the new press secretary reading from a 3-ring binder. Back to Jen. Well, Tina Peters then actually read a statement that she had and tried to act like she wasn't reading, but she was. And then one of her handlers in here in studio, this very studio where I am right now, one of her handlers handed her cell phone. Here, read this. It's a joke. Ron Hanks, by the way, in studio, 4 or 5 p.m. We're still working that out this Thursday. I have enormous respect for Ron Hanks. I thoroughly enjoyed our 30 minutes earlier this year when he was on the phone. I have enormous respect for Ron Hanks and his service to this country and his public service to the people like you and me of Colorado. Ron Hanks has a snowball's chance in hell of defeating Michael Bennet, and it'll probably be the toughest thing I've ever had to do. We're going to keep it civil. I've got to look him, and I plan on it, looking him in his eyes and telling him just that. Hopefully, there will be no violence. I don't think so. But you never know. I got a death threat today that I'm going to go the way of Lee Keltner if I continue poking at the bear of the boondoggle of comrade and comradette bilking the taxpayer, legitimate or not. What a waste of money. We will wrap up the program coming up next. You know what would make this just even a better way to end our final few minutes together is if I had a bowl of that black-eyed pea banana pudding right in front of me. I love the black-eyed pea. They are Colorado small business, kind of like through and through. 9 Colorado locations for you. It's dinner time right now. They've got their Monday through Sunday specials. Daily specials, first responder discounts, veteran discounts as well, active duty. Everything is made from scratch. If you're in the mood for mom's meatloaf, delicious. Get some mashed potatoes and gravy. And I'll tell you, you'll thank me later. Get it grilled at the Black Eyed Pea. The grilled salmon's terrific. Turkey breast dinners. They've got soups and salads, great burgers. And the sides from mac and cheese to broccoli to corn to carrots, whatever you want, they've got it for you. Save room for dessert, whether it's the iconic banana pudding or even their 1-pound mile-high chocolate cake. If you're looking for a job, maybe, I'm sure they wouldn't discriminate. They'll hire pretty much most anybody if they're qualified enough. If maybe Juan Marcano could get a job at the Black Eyed Pea. All the details, blackeyedpeacolorado.com. Just click on employment. I love everything about this restaurant. I know you will as well. Keep it here in Colorado. Support a Colorado small business that through mandates and shutdowns and this and that, they didn't lose any location. Lunch, dinner, tonight, tomorrow, whenever. It's blackeyedpeacolorado.com.
News Talk 710. Update.
Wall Street is starting the week with a rally. Bank stocks and tech shares led the rebound as all 3 major indices gained more than 1.5%. President Biden says an economic recession is not inevitable. He cites the fact that thousands of jobs are being added by companies such as Hyundai and Samsung. The U.S. Defense Secretary is carefully stepping around questions about President Biden's remarks about honoring a commitment to defend Taiwan. Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. policy on Taiwan has not changed, and that echoed an earlier statement from the White House clarifying Biden's remarks. And infants and toddlers may soon be able to receive COVID vaccines. An expert FDA panel will be reviewing data on Pfizer and Moderna vaccines for children next month, potentially setting up for an authorization this summer. This report sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover, exceptionally common sense. Jeff Hildebrandt, News Talk 710.
How is it looking? Pretty good for us. There's no crashes, no problems. A little bit crowded northbound I-25 trying to get up past 6th Avenue. Westbound 270 bunched up at Vasquez. That 225 drive a little slow up at I-70. That's it. Rest of the highway's in great shape. Speed's getting back to the high side. I'm Susan Thielen.
This report is sponsored by Discover. When it comes to your credit card, Discover believes in having real people available 24/7 to help answer your questions. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
There will be a lingering shower or two tonight, maybe an isolated thunderstorm as well. It'll be cool, lows in the lower 40s. A cloudy, cool day on Tuesday. Temperatures will probably only be in the middle to upper 50s, and Tuesday's going to bring a chance of rain showers and thunderstorms through late Tuesday evening. Then clearing, warmer, back to near 70 on Wednesday, warmer Thursday. Weather brought to you by Colorado Flat Fee Realty, now with a 2% option. Pay less, keep more. ColoradoFlatFeeRealty.com. I'm meteorologist Don Day on 710 KNUS.
Restore your bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning hair with the one solution that's guaranteed to grow your new hair. There is no one I trust more than Dr. Tanya Pauls and the team at Advanced Hair Restoration. Advanced Hair has performed more than 30,000 successful treatments using breakthrough technology that you just can't get anywhere else. Their advanced FUE treatment takes just one visit and your own natural hair begins growing the very next day. In fact, with Advanced Hair, your new hair is 100% guaranteed to grow. So boost your confidence and address hair loss once and for all by setting your free consultation today. Call 720-459-HAIR. Advanced Hair's standard of care always has and always will exceed the CDC guidelines, making this the perfect time to pursue your needs. Plus, tell them Steffan sent you for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. That's 720-459-HAIR, or for before and after pictures, be sure to visit advancedhair.com.
The Tree Farm's Memorial Day sale going on now. Save on thousands of trees, shrubs, perennials, vines, berries, and more. Now get 20% off all sizes of evergreen trees, including pine, spruce, upright juniper, and more. For example, 5-year-old 4-foot-tall Austrian pine trees are now only $199.99 each. See more sale items at thetreefarm.com. The Tree Farm's Memorial Day sale going on now.
You
Come
take
see.
I-25 to exit 235. Then 5 miles west to the Tree Farm.
Hi, it's George Brockler here with 710 KNUS. A local jeweler you can trust is a little thing that's actually a big thing. That's why I use Littleton Jewelry. I love their focus on jewelry repair and maintenance. Inherit a box of jewelry, don't know what it's worth? Their team can quickly go through it and evaluate and tell you what you have on your hands. Buy and sell gold and silver at Littleton Jewelry. It's very simple and upfront. Littleton Jewelry is located at Santa Fe, just south of Hudson Gardens. Look for the jewelry repair sign. Visit littletonfinejewelry.com. Tell them George sent you.
Tell me why Relief Factor is so successful in lowering or eliminating pain. I'm often asked that question. Pete and Seth Talbot, the father and son founders of Relief Factor, tell me they believe our bodies were designed to heal. The doctors who formulated Relief Factor selected the 4 best ingredients, 100% drug-free ingredients that each help your body deal with inflammation. Order the 3-week quick start now. Discount it to only $19.95 to see if it will work for you too. Call 800-500-8384. ReliefFactor.com.
Now, back to Steffan Tubbs, News Talk 710, KNUS.
We have the Friday Homestretch Film Review Film Assignment of the Week coming up 1 week from today, Memorial Day. There's a hint. Sponsored by Danny Cash, Danny Cash Hot Sauce, DannyCash.com. If you want to go to a place, you can go physically to their store, River Point Shopping Center, Santa Fe and Hamden area in the city of Sheridan. You're probably going to see more barbecue sauce and hot sauce and steak seasonings and unique gift items than you've ever seen anywhere in one place. I've never been to a place that had more barbecue sauce or hot sauce. It's awesome. Check them out, DannyCash.com. and we'll have the assignment, the film assignment that is coming up. We'll preview tomorrow as well. Apparently, Mike Kaufman just got chastised by, I don't know, a comrade or comradette supporter. Why are you making such a big deal about this trip to France? We'll continue to follow this. Probably of the same circle of people that sent me a death threat today. Meh. If you have not maybe had a new AC or furnace in your home for a while, or it's been a while since you had, say, anyone look at it, two things. Number one, get with our friends at 888 Heating and Air. Their $88 performance check will make sure that your system is in excellent working order. And if you've got an older unit, it's sucking you dry. Older units can be the biggest energy consumers. So right now, 888 with a limited time offer of $2,088 off a new AC and furnace installation, and you could be saving money almost immediately. They only install American Standard units, the best in the industry at the best price. At 888 Heating, they go the distance, and they certainly will for you. Check out their specials tab, their consumer reviews, and of course, scheduling is so easy on the website, 888heating.com. That's 888heating.com. Their team is so professional. You'll receive texts confirming your appointment, as well as a picture of the tech that's coming to your home. Tell them Steffan sent you. It is 888heating.com. Before the film assignment, just yet another thing I noticed over the weekend, again from Governor Jared Polis. Yesterday was what would have been the birthday of former commissioner in the city of San Francisco, Harvey Milk. Many of you know the story of Harvey Milk, and Sean Penn played Harvey Milk in the film Milk. Well, Harvey Milk was assassinated along with San Francisco Mayor George Moscone in the late 70s. And remember Dianne Feinstein? She was a commissioner then. She made this startling announcement.
Both Mayor Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk have been shot and killed. The suspect is Supervisor Dan White.
Dan White they used the Twinkie defense. Maybe some of you have heard about that. The Twinkie defense, and then he served his time and then later moved back to San Francisco, and he killed himself in his garage, carbon monoxide poisoning. The reason I bring this up is, as I always say, Colorado is California's little brother. Yesterday, on Harvey Milk's birthday, the governor puts out with a state graphic, the state logo, his name, celebrating Harvey Milk Day. In Colorado? Because Harvey Milk was gay? I don't understand it. And I do remember as a little boy, I remember the story of Moscone and Milk being assassinated at San Francisco City Hall. Finally, it is the attorneys we got to watch out for. So it is time for our film assignment of the week as we wrap up today's program. Memorial Day is such an important day. It is not a mattress sale weekend. It is not barbecues and beer, at least in total. Please remember why 1 week from today is Memorial Day. In honor, from 1949, starring Van Johnson, even a very young Ricardo Montalban, and many others, including James Whitmore. From 1949, the film Battleground. Battleground from 1949 is our film assignment this week, brought to us by Danny Cash. Danny Cash Hot Sauce, DannyCash.com. We will have clips, trivia, and more as we head into the Memorial Day weekend, about 6:40 on Friday. So you've got the rest of this week, most of Friday, to watch Battleground from 1949, an American war film that follows the 327th Glider Infantry Regiment, a part of the 101st Airborne. So look forward to watching that with you, and clips, trivia, and more. straight ahead. Tomorrow, I don't know what's going to be trending. Maybe World War II. No, World War III.
You didn't want to get involved
Again?
in the Ukraine conflict militarily for obvious reasons. Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes. Okay, Mr. President, thanks. Enjoy the rest of your trip to Japan. Is the doctor back yet from Central America? We'll follow the monkeypox thing as well. And of course, the Aurora Comradette boondoggle trip to France. Wonder where he's zoomed in right now. For Matt and Jeff, Steffan Tubbs, remember our troops. Good night.
The Western Conservative Summit is one of the largest annual gatherings of conservatives in the Western United States. I'm Jeff Hunt. Join us June 3rd and 4th at the Gaylord Rockies Resort in Denver, Colorado.
This year's summit features former Trump press secretaries Kayleigh McEnany, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, and just added Betsy DeVos, Matt Walsh, and Tulsi Gabbard. Get tickets today at 7:10.